Hello, and welcome to the finals of the deck building competition of Summoner Wars 2nd Edition, CBCB4. My name is Ryan, aka Shabata Bread, and I am joined in commentary by
Yantic.
Level 3 CPU.
What are the?
Thank you all for joining. I'm going to give the okay to our two competitors, Prophet and Orange Lazarus. Ready to start. And right before they take their first turns, let's talk about the matchup that we have here. It is two of the Titans. We got Prophet, my eternal nemesis, as he always threatens to eat the Shavata bread, versus the, if I'm correct, #2 player ranked in the world, Orange Lazarus.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's one of the big three. That ranking can cycle around, so he could very well be the best or third best or second best, but he's one of the Titans, absolutely. And he's got a very interesting deck here. Should we talk about the deck now that we're recording, or?
I think so. Although with the we should. But for the play-by-play, we got the aforementioned Orange Lazarus using his interesting deck and just going full offense with the Archer, getting the kill on the Slinger, soul shifting.
That's so annoying.
Getting right up in the face of Sneaks. I'm a little bit surprised at that because I feel like it would be an easy kill for Sneaks.
Well, it looks like an overextension, but I think what he's trying to do is stuff the CG's momentum because, you know, CG's momentum based, they want to crowd you, and I think he hopes to get them off his back by making them play on the defensive right at the start because he's clogging the gate with that Archer, you can see. And
so it's like blocking that summoning space?
Yeah, because he does not care about the Archer. For those of you tuning in, he did not put the Archers in his deck. They're not a part of his game plan. I think he's just throwing it away to throw off CG's momentum.
I still really wonder. I get that you get the value off killing that first Slinger, but it's already blocking the summoning spot. You can kind of ignore it in a little bit of, I don't know. I think both plays are pretty even. It's interesting to see when you choose to kill it and when you choose to not.
Well, what would you do with the Archer instead?
I think you're just trying to keep CG off your gates pretty early. And so just keeping it back home and even just missing the attack is not always a terrible option.
Speaking of missing of the attack, that was a close roll by Sneaks on the Archer. And that was a really unfortunate roll by the Beast Rider on the carrier. We can see Prophet kind of pause before syncing up the third attack. Just kind of taking that in.
That was a shaking my head length pause.
That it could have been even worse though. If that Archer had lived, that would have been another 3 damage on Sneaks plus whatever blood summon purge shenanigans that Ret Talus happens to draw into.
Although if you discarded carriers, I'd almost prefer to just get the carrier kill. Okay, here we are, Unrelenting. That'll stop any carrier shenanigans next turn.
As we were saying before the recording started, the secret epic event of the Cave Goblins. For new players just watching, these two decks we got the Cave Goblins run by Prophet, which are a really rushed down, very cheap swarm deck. And we have Ret Talus and the Fallen Kingdom, who are very combo oriented, have a couple big plays and also use your undead carriers to build this economy game. So you got the rush down versus the long game. It's a little bit aggro versus control. But both decks have a huge ability to just burst.
Swarm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So it's rush down versus control, swarm versus swarm.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. I just thought of something. Ret really only needs carriers in his deck to be able to use his ability effectively. I know he usually uses his ability on archers and warriors, but he technically only needs that. If you could build a deck that was really economy focused around Ret and only left the carrier, then you could use his ability for its full economic potential along with carriers and create a really grindy deck.
True.
That'd be a nightmare to face.
And
No,
when we look at the deck list of Orange Lazarus, who's thinking right now, we see only 2 of the 3 undead units. We got the carriers, the warriors, and the archers have been subbed out for Ember Beasts, along with the 4th unit who has just summoned there, the cultist.
yeah,
And
you
that
gotta
archer is not in the deck, but was in the discard pile. So the ability of Raise the Dead was able to effectively bring him back.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the fact that he only has 1 archer is because he doesn't really need more than that. If he needs an archer already, you can just revive it. So it's okay if he doesn't have archers in the deck. He still has access to the archer for the whole game. So I
Water
think it's
D
a
is
good
right.
call.
Yeah, Water D is absolutely right. And that is a really good thing to mention. Now that I think about it, oftentimes when I play Ret Talus, I only summon 1 archer at a time, and he's continually from the discard pile for Ret Talus. The other archers in my hand are treated as blanks. So that's really interesting.
They're too expensive in a lot of ways.
Yeah, they are.
We look like we've redid the turn and we're summoning the cultist on the left and the archer on the right. Even though Unrelenting is active, going for a swarm on the common units. Is that to stop the momentum, or?
I don't think he can afford to let the climber get close to Ret.
True.
Yeah, I think the full sweep here is, ooh, that's a hard miss. I think the full sweep is fine because he still only has the 1 gate, right? So like he's still only max deploying 4 units. If he fills his hand with both of these units, it's more okay.
Yeah. Beast Rider can't reach Ret Talus. Oh, see you, Water D.
We move on to Prophet's turn, and I wonder if Prophet is top decked or kept a wall in hand, because moving, I can annotate, moving Sneaks up to this spot and placing a wall right here would be a very strong play, just to get more pressure.
Yep.
The Beast Rider is a little neutered with the not being able to charge, but that's still a solid 3 attack swing.
Mm-hmm.
And we see a slinger, another slinger.
Ooh.
You don't want to see those this early if you're Orange Lazarus and the Fallen Kingdom. Maybe you do, because you won't be able to maximize on more than 3 attacks.
Yeah, I don't know. Overall, I feel like slingers, if the carrier can get to a slinger, then they are just zombies waiting to happen.
That's true. I'm really, go ahead.
Oh, no, go on.
Honestly, I'm really bullish on slingers. I think they're one of the top 5 common units in the game, just because of the economic power that Relentless brings.
Oh, absolutely. And in any other matchup, they're the best. You should still play all 4 against Fallen Kingdom, but you just got to keep them out of the carrier's range, which means they effectively can't hit the carrier unless they know they're going to kill him.
Again, for those of you who are new, this infectability that's really scary when you're fighting the Cave Goblins. This is probably the worst matchup for the Cave Goblins.
Yep. This is their worst. People say some people say it's PE and Maldaria, but others have proven that they can get to Maldarian Assassinator sometimes. So that one isn't as bad for them as this one.
We see a sort of flanking. No gate, bad luck for Prophet. And another bad, like only 1 of 3 on sword.
What are Prophet's rolls right now, man?
This is ridiculous. He needs to get 2 out of 2 right now. Okay, he's got it. He's got something.
Sometimes it happens like that.
Yep.
And 1 for 1 on the cultist. The climber is never going to be your offensive weapon, but
Now he
They
has to
said
make
that-
the difficult decision of sliding in.
Yeah.
I
What do
think
y'all
you do
say?
it. I think you do it. If they burst you, they burst you. You need to get some momentum here.
No, I agree
Profits.
with the move he just made. I think
Profits
Sneaks
not
has
risking
to
the
be
game.
safe. There is no other faction that can explode on Sneaks the way FK can.
That's
This
true.
will testify.
Oh, another unrelenting. That makes the decision a lot easier.
Yes, it does.
But this is both unrelentings. After this, if Orange can just stabilize, it's going to be super. He doesn't have to worry about that for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I agree. On
So
the other hand, this is a great turn for unrelenting.
You got 3 1-health common units, and you got a climber deep in enemy territory.
Yep. This is a really good turn for unrelenting.
Think what you clear out the slingers. Maybe just crowd the climber with the common units, and then run away from the beast rider.
Hmm.
And this might be a good time to bring up the deck list of the options that Orange Lazarus has. We're playing in a deck building format, so instead of using the default decks, opponents are allowed to bring different cards in as long as they share the symbols of the summoner. In that case, Red Talus being, the mercenary symbol right here, fire and darkness, and for Sneaks and the Cave Goblins, the mercenary symbol, which every summoner has, daring and clever.
Cunning,
That's
trickery.
cunning.
Subterfuge? Cunning, thank you.
Yeah, which is like tricky or trickster.
Interesting that, well, Sneaks has the trickster ability because of stuff like climb, which moves in weird ways. I'll
And
keep that up a little
slide.
bit longer so you can read it. And slide, definitely.
I feel like Sly is
very
the
powerful.
epitome of daring trickster. To just throw your summoner in the middle of everything as a trick and then, sly out and everything. It's daring because you're taking a huge risk that your opponent could dogpile you, and it has happened to Sneaks many times. But it's also very tricky because you could open up 2 fronts when they thought they only had 1 open. And
True.
you could get a forward gate before slying out.
And that's really what Prophet's luck is not in here. You want the dice rolls, obviously, but you also want that initial starting gate to open up summoning options. And we just haven't seen it come out yet.
He has had so much bad luck. But hold on a second.
That's way better lighting.
Mm.
Got a carrier out, and that's it. Saving up on the magic.
Yeah, I'll probably attack the climber just to put damage on him. He has to move Ret Talus back though.
I'm surprised it's not Ret Talus into the corner. Maybe a wall's coming. But yeah, it looks like the attack is going to be Archer to Beast Rider, kill. That doesn't kill. That's real unfortunate. That's a 1 in 27 chance that it misses. Cultist to Climber, and then Carrier to Cultist to try to get some heals in.
Yeah, I guess we don't know if his discard pile is 1 carrier. You gotta hope. You gotta hope for Orange right now.
Yeah. Even though Prophet's having the bad rolls, they're definitely in the driver's seat with those unrelentings. There's the gate.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't agree with that place for a gate.
And that
Against
leads to
CG, I mean. I think you need a back row gate against CG.
I'm not sure if it's back row, but I would put it in the second to back row, which gives you way more summoning spots. Barely kills. That would have been bad.
Yeah.
And now we get the cultist. You're gonna want a 2 for 2. You get the 2 for 2.
Oh
That's
And
great.
where's the last attack?
no.
It's the carrier to the cultist.
It didn't
Oh.
happen.
He
There
didn't
must
Even
have
the
not
a
have
wounded
been.
climber.
He must not have had the carrier in the discard pile,
Huh.
which I was almost sure would happen because I would think you would move. I would think you would move the cultist because you had an extra move. Let me
Mhm.
get the annotation. I would think you put it here because that the climber can only move against through structures, not through units.
Right.
So instead of it would be stuck to move like this or like this, but
Mhm.
instead the climber can just move straight through all the way to the back row and put in a lot of pressure. It'll probably die with 1 health, but that's a huge risk.
Yeah. And he blocked his own summoning spot with that carrier now.
Mm-hmm.
He summoned a unit and didn't do anything with it. You know what? I wonder if he actually thought he had a carrier and then, like, was going autopilot with it and then realized after attacking with the archer, oh, I don't have a carrier in my discard pile, and stopped himself just in time.
And that's probably what happened. We see those kinds of mistakes a lot more with these live games when you don't have 3 days to think about it. We do
Mhm.
see the 3-day timer, but this game is being played live as quick as possible. The 3-day timer is just to prevent an anticlimactic timeout if someone has network issues.
I think that
Yep.
the carrier is more there to block, like sneak, push climber down 1, and then walk all the way in between the gates that Orange put up. So he's really just kind of using it as like a positioning shield more than anything.
To prevent like sneaks from crowding out with maybe a climber or a sneak here, move this climber here, sly and sneaks, and just like crowd out here.
No, like, so if the carrier is not there, right, he can climber down 1 and then move it 3 all the way to in between his gates. It's probably going to be hard to get that gate spot back. I think Orange for sure doesn't have a carrier. Otherwise, we probably see the cultist killed there just for the 3 health.
Definitely. We were talking about maybe using sneak to get it here and then using its move phase 1, 2, 3. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Because if you have a climber and sneak, right, you could push slinger back 1 and climber over, and then you could use the slinger to get it adjacent to the climber, and then you have climber on gate, a climber on gate, clinger next to red.
True. Ooh, I see what you mean. And assuming you have the sneak there, you can get, you can make the shenanigans work with the slinger right here. Move it back. You summon a clinger here. Well, you didn't because it's a Beast Rider. You move slinger here with this. Move clinger here with this. Move the slinger down to connect, and then boom, you have 2 attack on Red Talus and a rock solid formation. More if you have Enraged the Horde.
Honestly, despite Prophet's bad luck, he's looking pretty good.
True.
I'd agree. I'm fortunate to get to play a lot of scrims with Orange Lazarus, and I just have to say, like, his game sense is incredible. Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, oh yeah, I have to play around like the sneak triple chain here, just like naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a back row gate from the Cave Goblins.
Oh.
I would think you would want to go on the offensive here. Is Sneak's trying to? Oh, and that's the gate disappears.
Okay,
That makes more sense.
Is he pranking us?
Because that spot right there is a climber can get through there if you summon on F5.
Oh, Prophet has so many good attacks, and then he can sneaks in with climber and just like get into all of Red Talus's stuff, right? He has all the attacks he needs.
He can summon Clinger on side of gate and Climber on front, sneak Clinger up to next Climber, and then sneak Climber around, so he's right in between his opposing two gates, and the clinger goes right next to Rectalis.
Yeah, it's dirty.
But if he retreats Rectalis, then the climber just runs right through the gate, hits Rectalis anyway. In fact, there's no place Rectalis can go to be safe next turn unless he summons something to block that space. He has to body block.
Yeah, with 4 magic, it's doable, but
Oh,
it's
yeah, definitely.
it restricts the amount of options that Orange Lazarus has.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing a long pause on the build phase. I'm thinking that's a pause on the attack phase, trying to calculate exactly how you want to make everything work out. And while we have the pause, going back a little bit to the wall placement, this problem really would have been avoided. Oh, he moved the wall back. Still thinking about that. Well, if he puts the wall here, the problem would have been avoided if we had just seen the gate. What?
Okay, I don't know what he's doing here.
What is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
100% a post-game question. Like, I just have no idea what the wall placement
this
is.
This is wrong. I don't know what he's doing.
This
like
is either.
I guess it's a good spot for a clinger, but so would putting the gate 2 spaces forward.
Okay, it's not that. This is. I mean, we've made these.
All right, now it's over there. This is like game determining decision for profit, apparently.
It is. No wonder the dude's taking so long to think about it. Is that it? I would think the decision, I think you have 2 options here. You go, E6 or F6.
Hey, Ciabatta, can you oh, I'll do it after attacks. I'll ask.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. And the cultist is wasted. Immolate, waste.
3 for 4.
Barely got it, but got it. And we see the board completely wiped.
Is he gonna sly in? Is he getting sneak deep?
I would.
Yeah, sliding over the climber. That's safe.
He has 4 magic, so next turn he could dagger. He's not gonna sly in.
He's not gonna slide.
Ciabatta, can you go to the turn log so I can just write down what turn this is? Because I'm very curious about what he was thinking with the back gate.
Yeah, no problem. This looks like beginning of turn 6. Oh no, oh no, this is the new one. He's playing Sacrificial Pier. So yeah, turn 6. We get the wall right here.
Yeah, I just think he's in so much more pressure if he put it on the other side of the map.
Me too. It's and weird decisions happen. I played a game a couple of days ago in the same matchup where it was Cave Bombs against Cloaks, and I just slide in sneaks right into the Blocks' backfield for an extra 2 damage and immediately got bursted down. So sometimes you just make weird decisions. But I really want to hear Prophet's thought process.
Oh,
I was on the game history, so I'm going to go back to the beginning of turn 7 and just hit play. We see a Sacrificial Pier, a summon here for the Archer. Even though there's no Archers in the deck, that Archer is showing
right.
up. Beast does wildfire damage. Archer moves to attack the Slinger, and we got 1 movement left. We're not going to use it. Oh, we are going to use it to move Brett Tallis back one.
Yeah.
And it's just so safe because there's no gate. There's no gate threatening.
There's no gate there. If the gate was here, you could go, just 1, 2, 3 and a sneak, or 1, 2, 3 and a big roll.
Assuming this doesn't whip. Yep.
Does he have a carrier? I don't think he has a.
Lazarus.
He has
a
one.
carrier.
Oh.
Now he has to hit the
long
Slinger.
enough.
Oh my gosh.
And
What a
3
turn.
for 3.
Heavily
That
FK
is a-
favor. Wow.
Huge shift, and we really see Orange Lazarus' experience coming into play here, taking advantage of what we think is a mistake on Prophet's part, and capitalizing with this massive common rush as soon as the Unrelentings wear out.
Yep. And he's got 3 chips or 3 boosts on starting
What's that,
initial
12?
fire.
And more for any more damage that
Yep,
any
That's
more calling
great.
units that Sneaks takes out.
that is great.
You can see it right there. 3. It's right in the bottom right corner. And weird wall placement in this game. I was criticizing Orange Lazarus for the gate on F3 here using chess notation. Smeg comes out, the super slinger. A good time to use Smeg too, because the unrelentings are out. Magic Junkie is normally a little bit of an issue, but Sneaks' deck is so cheap. I think it's really Dagger, and then everybody else is a 0-coster.
Yeah, everybody else is free, so and then a couple events cost 1 magic each. So
Yeah,
basically,
And-
Smeg, you're not even gonna think about spending the 1 magic.
yeah. It would be Smeg. It was Smeg, Blarf, Dagger, and Enrage the Horde and Unrelenting. And so that's 8 guaranteed magic being spent, and then like a little extra for Smeg and Blarf, which is pretty much nothing. But
There she
but
is.
Dagger does come out. You have to get a kill here though, or Smeg is going to die to Magic Junkie.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like we're going to see.
Oh, dang. Dagger's gonna get behind
Van-
Beast.
Yep, Dagger on Beast.
Ooh,
But that leaves Dagger exposed. That's a dead Dagger.
if it's not a dead Dagger, you get 3 on ret.
You get more
Plus
slash
0
shenanigans
coster.
for sure, but I don't know. I feel like Dagger should go behind Carrier. Maybe no. He has to kill the Beast. He has to kill the Beast.
If you don't try to kill the Beast here, there's no reason to move the Climber there. You would want to keep the Climber out of the range of Wildfire.
Yeah.
To
I almost
force
feel like it
moves
would
and
actually be
attacks.
better for him at this point to do a little bit of a retreat, consolidate his forces maybe. Because I just don't like whatever he does to try and get at that Beast exposes whatever he's using to get at the Beast. And he could just keep outside of the Beast's range this turn while hitting other units.
Avoid Wildfire.
Yeah,
Build up a force.
yeah.
Take
Dare
advantage
the
of
Beast to come to him.
take advantage of the fact that you're further through your draw pile, not by much, but it will tick down after this turn. Try to play a tempo game. Smeg to the Archer.
Gets the
Big
2 for
hits.
2.
That's big, because that also gives you the magic you need for keeping Smeg alive.
It also means you don't need to Dagger behind Beast to get that magic, although he would get that magic just from discarding a card at the end of his turn, so it was never really a risk.
Good point. Good point. I was so like thinking of endgame scenarios where you can't do that. And there's the swap. 5 dice on Beast. If this doesn't kill,
Yeah,
5 for
this
5.
doesn't kill
Dagger.
profit is lost. Okay, 5 out of 5.
5
Yeah,
out of
sorry,
5.
it's a bit slow on our screen. We see the roll result like 2 seconds after you do.
It's good I'm doing play-by-play then.
Yep, it is.
And then for the final attack, Beast. I'm surprised I didn't see another swap. Sneaks to Bandit.
Yep,
There
there
it is. We had an extra attack.
Okay.
Yeah, just profit getting the tactics right by attacking with Bandit first. And then does the Slinger still have an attack on the Carrier? Guess not. I guess that already happened.
Yeah, I went 1 for 2.
1 for 2. 2 cards in hand. How many are going to get discarded? Depends on what it is, but I feel like you'd probably want to discard both unless you have enrages. Discard neither. Check to make sure that's right.
I think he's being real greedy with a brutal force in his hand because he hasn't discarded all game and he really wants that big chain turn. That was a
Wow.
full health heal for Rhett though. 6 from Pyre. That's crazy.
Ugh.
Sick. That's 3 common units. The economy game is very, very strongly in Fallen Kingdom's favor here.
Wow, is he gonna try to zombify Dagger?
I would expect a purge here.
Yep.
Maybe he's
Oh, if he
on
has
Zombify
Purge
Dagger.
Hellforge.
There it is.
That's
No
the Purge.
way.
Yeah. That's the most telegraphed purge in the history of this game. I don't
Does he have the Hellforged weapon?
That would be big.
That'd be huge.
That would be 4 on carrier. It would be in the build phase, so we would see it in just a moment.
Oh, this is brutal. If he has,
think he's
if he has the play, this is brutal.
I think he's realizing maybe he only has 1 carrier in discard, so he can't zombie both of them. I don't know how many he has in discard, but like if he had all 4 already online, like 10 cards into his deck, that'd be crazy.
Both players have been playing very slow through their decks.
Very
Because
cautiously.
it's been a good like 8 or 9 turns. Yeah, this is turn 9. Going like
Crazy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So this is Lazarus's 5th turn.
Yeah. And he's got 19 cards still in his deck. Moving back, undoing turns, all the way back to the summon phase, just redoing everything.
And he's
again,
not
for
going to
new
make the same carrier mistake.
Yeah, again, for new players, you're allowed to undo turns in this game for as long as you want, as long as you haven't done anything that requires randomness. So once you draw a card, once you roll some dice, that's it.
Once new
But-
information is revealed, you can never go back.
Mhm.
It's probably the best feature of this game's artificial interface is the undo button.
Oh yeah. I remember at the beginning, the first couple times I played like there was no undo button, and I played so much worse because I just had to visualize everything.
Yeah. Oh, this is funny. You can actually during the when you feel like you can't take something back because it draws a card, like for Eternal Council.
There's the purge.
You could play the cards out on a board if you have a physical copy of it, and just like move them around with the physical copy so you don't show your opponent what you're doing.
Smart.
I may or may not have done that. But here we are. Here's the purge turn. It's beautiful. It's massive.
We see a back row gate.
You
And
have
the
the
Hellforged weapon.
Hellforged.
There's the
Oh.
weapon.
That's what we wanted to see, or that's what Orange Lazarus wanted to see.
Yep. And
4
Dagger's
attack.
getting backstabbed.
Huge roll here.
Oh my
Gets it.
gosh.
Oh.
Dagger's 1
And it's a
turn kill.
perfect, it does 1 damage.
That's beautiful. And so he can attack
Get the kill
himself
on
afterward.
Snag. And you get the carrier
Oh, that's beautiful.
right there.
Oh my gosh.
My God, that is.
What a turn.
And you have, and look at that fortress. There's no gaps. You need a climber to get through that.
Oh my goodness. And Red House is at the bottom right. Ah, this is crazy.
That looks artificial. He's got a castle
Oh my gosh.
with the
Yeah,
with the
he just
sentry.
castled.
With the sentry in
as
the
a
upper
chess player,
tower.
I will say that's castling right there. In this game, in Summer Wars, that's castling.
I mean, this game's often called chess combined with Magic the Gathering, so it fits.
Yep. Chess
And
and,
we're-
Magic, the Gathering had a baby, and it was Summoner Wars.
And I'm a big fan of all 3 games, as you can see by my background. I'm sure level 3 CPU is in the same boat.
Yeah.
What a turn.
That's big.
So good.
And we're on to Prophet, and Prophet's just sitting there like, what do I even do now?
So I think something really cool and interesting that I don't know if Orange was thinking about, but since Carrier only had 2 damage, right? And Dagger was at 3 there, he couldn't miss and not get the chance for Archer to soul shift over and finish off Dagger. Because like if it rolled 2 bows and only did 2 damage, it's gonna die to Hellforged weapon. So he has a second shot at killing Dagger for sure.
And kills Dagger anyway.
That's a
It's
really
pretty
good
cool.
point. Because of the nature of the dice. The only dice roll out of the 6 that doesn't have a sword on it, which means Carrier wouldn't hit, also has a lightning bolt on it, which means that Hellforge would hit.
Yeah.
Yep. That was pretty much guaranteed. Yeah, like I said, if Dagger goes behind and kills the beast, Dagger dies.
Oh,
You
man.
called it.
Yep. But I did not call this beautiful structure. You know, just recently on the chat, I think, is it my imagination or was it Prophet who said, I base all my formations on aesthetic appeal? And now he's facing Lazarus, who has just made this gorgeous formation. He has to be admiring the view just as much as he's thinking about his next turn.
You don't even need to guard with that Carrier in the top left because you can't move diagonally in this game, but it makes it look better.
It does. I mean, it would have been so much uglier if he had been under the 10 health gate.
True. Yeah, because he could have summoned there too. But
I mean, this creates more space for himself to have him here, even though he's open on 2 fronts. The other Carrier was open on 2 fronts anyway. And this way they don't cover up 1 gate summoning spot to hit the other Carrier. He still has 2 summoning spots from the 10 life gate.
Even though the Carrier can get attacked by those clingers, you keep your summoning spots, you prevent wall crab, which I think is better here because you're so far ahead economically anyway. Just by virtue of being against the cave goblins.
Oh yeah. All right, he's mounting an offense with clingers, which is really what you need to make that happen now. He's deciding to risk sneaks a little more. A purge has come out.
Which I think you have to do.
Yeah, you have to. And a purge has come out, so sneaks can be a little safer now.
There's 2 events per deck. Well, two copies max per deck. And you can bring only one of the 2. We expect, and we have the deck list, so we know that Orange Lazarus and the Fallen Kingdom have both purges, but it's unlikely that he has both of them at the same time. Just to back up what Yantic is saying.
I've played around a little bit with like running what up events and like deck building. And I think there are like certain instances where it's okay. Like I think like TO can get away with 1 Primal Fury, like the really good grog, like attack and then attack, because often you're either using that to escape or you're using it for a 6 sweep. But like if you ever get to it, it used to be great when you could use both, but since active event stacking is gone, the dream is dead.
The one errata that this game has had.
The one errata that continually hurts other factions more than it really hurts Polar Doors, because even though that was an awful situation, it was only one of the many, many things that they could do.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vanguard still misses double Holy Judgment so bad.
Oh yeah.
It really, it stabbed Vanguards. It just like they didn't need it. You kick their teeth in while they're down. It's awful.
No mercy.
2 times.
Coffee and Melange posting rest in peace in the chat.
Yep.
We're there with you.
Yep.
I get why they did though, because there'd be some as it comes down later down the line, you can get some really nutty events.
And honestly, Fury Force probably is a negative player experience. Like if you have that and your opponent is just sitting there watching you play baseball with their summoner, like
it was honestly too easy to get 8 dice on a summoner, right?
It
And
was
the
really
entire
over-
game became avoiding it.
It was
Yeah.
super over centralizing. Thunderworks, it made Thunderworks way more viable, which was nice. But they were viable because Grognek just had this threat aura around him.
Yeah, and I think they're viable anyway. They just needed that little boost in the beginning before people could learn how to play them more, because they are harder to master than
Yeah,
most other factions.
they're the most, I think they're the most, because they have so little mobility outside of
Yeah.
Brutal Force, which the Cave Goblins stole here, just like they stole the Breakers epic event.
Yeah.
They have to play way more predictive. Red Talus kind of on the other end of the scale, moving back to this game, because of stuff like Infect, because of stuff like Sacrificial Pyre, because of stuff like Purge, really, playing very reactive and responding to what the opponent does, which I think works really well against the Cave Goblins.
Yeah. And we see Prophet really struggling to see what he could put together without overexposing himself.
I'm struggling to see what he can put together.
Yeah.
You get the Clingers to try to get the carrier kill, 1 for 2. And you really need this 2 for 2, or else the carrier just heals up. You do get it, still in the game.
Okay.
And Sneak slides back to safety, since he can't attack anyways.
So he's gonna need some carrier misses. We need some 1 for 2s.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the odds of a 1 for 2 are 11. Well, they're 10 and 36. The odds of not getting a 2 for 2 is 11 and 36.
That
So
makes it
not
a
out
lot
of the
worse.
question. Not out of the question, but more likely than not, you're going to get some zombies here. And with the Beast, oh boy.
What a
Now the
combo.
Now the odds you miss the Infect is 1 in 36. Not going to happen. I'm a statistics major. That is not statistically significant.
I've done it enough though that I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it to happen.
It can still happen.
This game started out with a 0 for 3, right?
True. That's 1 in 216.
Prophet just like cashed that early to like save it for right now, Interesting. Okay.
Red House moves in a little bit.
Sorry, y'all. Internet connection issues.
No worries.
All right. So what happened besides that beautiful beast?
I like Rhett moving in a little bit, makes his raise the dead more significant. If the fight's happening in this little middle section, then you want to be able to spawn stuff from your discard.
Yeah, and it says he's not afraid. I mean, the way he's positioned Rhett the entire game says he's not afraid of cave goblins.
Gets the 1 of 2, but it doesn't matter because Beast Wildfire.
Yep.
Beast goes for a kill. 1 of 3, and it doesn't matter.
Oh,
These dice rolls are not good, but they're good enough.
yep.
No soul shift. I guess protecting that summoning spot, assuming the archer is going to die. And now you have a question of, I think you attack with the archer here to try to get 3 for 3. Do you get it? You get 1 for 3.
He got 1 success in each of his rolls.
Not really what you want, but again, good enough here.
It was good enough 2 of those 3 times, and those are the 2 times that mattered. So, yeah. All right, this doesn't look as undoable anymore, but the only really exposed unit is the archer, and clearly Lazarus intends for the archer to die.
Yeah.
And it's great. Like, I mean, like, I don't even see like an enraged turn going well, right? Because you kill the archer. You should kill the archer on like the first roll of things, and then you're rolling 1 dice against Emberbeat. Oh man.
Yeah. This is very hard. Like, the bandits can gang up on the archer, but who cares? It's a 2 health unit. You can kill it with anything.
I guess it's insurance if you get a 1 for 2. Assuming you summon a unit and move it to C4 there. Like a unit pops in here, goes here. Bandit goes here and gets gang up. Ooh.
Clear.
Ooh.
All right, that's nice.
Going for more of a fortification. I could
Maybe,
see.
I don't know. He
a-
might bring a clinger forward by the beast and then use his other bandit to move that clinger by the carrier and then use the slinger to, yeah,
That's definitely it.
yep, that's what he's doing.
And then the slinger moves in.
Yeah, well, the slinger can actually move the other clinger next to the carrier. Oh, he's using the slinger that way because he wants the clinger to attack the beast, I guess. Okay, that's fine too. But either way, he's got the bonus for bandit, the gang up bonus. So you
And
can
there comes
probably kill the carrier.
There's the wall we thought we were gonna see way earlier.
Yeah. He sees an
So-
opening in the castle.
Coffee saying in the chat, looks like a carrier feast, and I agree.
It's for sure
but
an enraged
hopefully-
turn. I think it's
Yeah.
for sure an enraged turn.
It has to be. Yeah, because this is definitely a carrier feast if he does not have enraged. Enraged.
You gotta clear out the carriers. Retalis can only get one back on Raise the Dead, and then you hope that one misses.
I think you also have to sneak. You have to sly in. Like, I mean,
You have
like,
to
yeah,
sly
you're
in.
risking it, but if you don't get like sneaks value, that's the only thing that's gonna like get you back into this game is sneaks getting
Yep.
some value.
At some point, he has to risk his health. That's very true.
Gets the kill on the carrier.
Yeah, y'all are way ahead of my internet connection. You were saying gets the kill on the carrier before it even showed me the slinger animation.
Wow.
I think I'm
Well,
pretty
tell
on
me
speed
what's
with you.
happening.
The people watching should be seeing my screen recording, so it'll sync up. That's the hope, at least. This is the second time we've ever done this.
Yeah, Chibata, I have a pretty live feed, but I have okay internet.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm watching your screen, Chibata. So here we are.
There it is.
There we are.
Enrage the
There it
Horde.
is. Enrage the
But
Horde.
no
Okay.
sly in. Switch with the
No
bandit.
whoa.
homie.
The bandit's not attacking anyway.
He should still switch Sly in the bandit. I agree because then it's a relatively safe position from which he can attack and Sly out next turn.
Yeah, in fairness to our competitors, we are a group of 3 people.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
And these guys, they're really good players.
Yeah,
But,
there. Yeah, that's true. This was a really good turn, though. I mean, he did clear out the board. He didn't take out the archer, which I agree with. I think that archer was a bait and needed to be ignored. He was there to absorb damage so the other units could survive. I totally agree with that. Only thing I would have
Gotta
done
get the beast
differently
out of the
was slice. But yeah.
this does show why the rep move last turn was great though, because now you can just drop a carrier here and it's right in the middle of things.
And if you get the 2 for 2, then you can feast on the 1
Yep.
for 2.
Here he comes.
Feast time,
somebody's
baby, in the
feast
chat.
time, baby. Coffee in the lane. If he's got another carrier, that would be incredible.
A whiff turn though, and Profit's right back in this. A single, like a big whiff from a carrier
1 for
here.
2. If there's 1 carrier and it goes 1 for 2 on the clinger, because it can't hit the slinger, it's too far away.
Yeah.
It goes 1 for 2 on a clinger. Immediately, yeah, it's still the same game, Waterby.
Yeah, but then the question is, what would he have to have in his hand to not have any other carriers or Ember Beast? Because an Ember Beast could make that other clinger be down to 1 health, and then he can move the beast to something else and move the carrier there. Like he'd have to have no beasts and no carriers in order to have a hand that just.
Hey, Davey, I think you're unmuted. No worries. No, I've done that too.
I was just gonna
I
say
was-
we haven't seen a warrior yet, and here's the first warrior.
Everything has to go off of 2 hit a carrier or something. I know. That's dicey.
This is actually a really big turn.
Yes, it is. Yeah, this is. Yep, you're right. Level 3. This is kind of the turn.
Because if he has another
man.
climber and sneak, that gate puts him right. Okay, yeah, Archer, great move, smart. But it doesn't really save you because you can just go through the main alley. If you have sneak, climber can hop right over that gate. Oh, this is a hard one.
And you only get 3 attacks here. So I think you would go carrier to clinger, hope for the kill. If
Mhm.
you get the kill, warrior to clinger, and then archer to slinger, try to reduce
Okay,
number
Red
of attacks.
Talus is blocking that spot. So he's
I think
trying
we're
to.
also out of clingers. I think we've seen all 4 of Prophet's clingers. So no like climber clinger shenanigan.
Yeah.
I'll check the turn log after the attack phase.
All right,
And
this
here's
is
the
the
clinger
roll.
attack.
Oh,
Ooh,
No.
we got a
that's
game.
the 1 for 2. We're still in it, baby.
Yep. That's
Funded warrior,
all
and
he
then you
needs.
only get, you do get the 2 for 2 here. If that
Okay.
was a 1 for 2,
And so he can still have the clinger. It's not that
he
bad.
can still hit the slinger. And gets it pretty easily.
Yeah.
1 in 27 chance of missing there.
Oh, this is gonna be. Oh,
This is a big turn though, because you have the bandit attached to the clinger. You do have a block with the warrior and the carrier.
we got
And we're
a
on to Prophet's
finals.
turn.
We got a finals
yeah.
here.
And I'm
You
control
know,
Fing to find.
If he's
So that's
used up
1
all his
clinger summon,
clingers,
2.
Oh, that's really smart. That's a smart way of doing it. Yeah, because he just summoned 2 the last turn. So if he summoned
Yeah.
2 on, yeah.
That's all 4.
that's all for. Okay, so he has no more clingers. He can't use any clinger shenanigans. Then he would have to have
Yeah,
double
1,
sneak to
2,
get in on
3,
Red
4.
Talus.
There's no more clingers in the game.
Yep.
Unless
And we're back to the turn, so we'll see the things as they happen.
I don't think any clingers got unrelenting. That wouldn't matter because we've seen 4 since then.
It's interesting. They both have about the same amount of deck left, about the same amount of magic, same amount of cards in their hands. So their off-board economy is pretty much equal. Their on-board economy also looks pretty close. I mean, yeah, those are all 0-cost units on one side, but they could do a lot.
True.
Bandit looking like a pretty good unit when it gets to be a 3-2 for 0.
Yeah. Bandit looking like it shouldn't have made it out of playtesting in that form. But it did.
The climber.
I like how in this matchup his second ability heist is completely non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, why do you want to push yourself to get 1 magic?
Yes, I have an extra magic. I can use it for, yeah, like all my units.
You won't be laughing when I have to pay for turn 10 of Blarf, you know?
Exactly.
It caps out at 5, but the 10 is just extra intimidation.
Yeah, and to prevent him from getting damaged at the meantime, of course, because somehow the opponent has left him alive for 10 turns while he was at 5 melee for 6 of those.
Still waiting for the summon. We're talking about the bandit in playtesting, but I think the bandit, even though it's super balanced, even though it's super strong in cloaks, is not overpowered in cloaks. But when you come into a swarm faction as heavy as the cave goblins, it just gets that much better.
Yeah, you're right. It's a deck building thing, but a bunch of cards get unbalanced with deck building, so that's just, yeah.
That's part of the fun.
Yep.
There's different, like you see the cave goblins taking their deck building strategy, trying to do broken things. And the Fallen Kingdom kind of takes their deck building strategy, just taking the really bad cards and not using them and replacing them with stuff that's better. With cave goblins, you're like, gosh, do I use the charger here or the climber or the clinger? So many tough options. And with the Fallen Kingdom, you're like, sorry, gold ass. I can't do it. We're gonna have to play anyone else. Holius is on the top 10 champions on the summonerwarzone.com. Holius looks like you're getting your chance. Come on in.
Well, the thing is
Yep.
that Radalus still doesn't have access to all units from the second wave, unlike
That's a good point.
Sneaks.
Yeah.
So you
Because-
straight up have fewer options.
There are some Fungal Dwarves units that Red Talus would definitely avail himself of.
True.
We've seen the spoilers. We know.
I love this. Oh no. This is gonna be crazy.
Here we
A
are.
sneak coming in exactly when you want it.
It's beautiful.
And you can still force the climber, the clinger, and the bandit. Going with a temporary retreat with the bandit to get that clinger in a more favorable position. Gonna bring you up.
Here we are.
Ooh.
Oh man.
This is gonna
This
be
is
a dirty
This is
turn.
the last stand. And
Yeah.
if there's an enrage,
Well, he might just fly in with sneaks and hope, just like pray, right?
One for
true,
one for
you
two.
do have the full 11 health. And Red House already used up a purge and a health
Yeah.
forge.
I don't think even with 11 health you can get in with snakes. I mean, Ratadus can do 11 damage like nothing. I wouldn't
Yeah, but-
slay in or
Yeah.
What other options do you have though? Just kind of wait to die. You're out
We're
of
saying that
unrelenting.
he's desperate enough that he might slide in anyway.
okay.
All right.
I was talking about the game we just played, Water D, where I slide in at the wrong time. You have the enrage. You don't need to slide here.
Okay.
Really need the 2 for 2. You get it. I would think Bandit would attack the carrier and hope for the 2 for 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
That attack makes sense.
Just an
you
awesome
don't-
enraged turn.
Definitely. And here it is. If you get this, it's
Yeah.
big. And you get it.
Gets it. Oh man.
Red House going down to 3 or 4 here. Going down to
It's
3.
two.
The Cave Goblin is just doing what the Cave
Full
Goblins do.
wipe.
And all of a sudden, everyone is dead. We were counting out the Cave Goblins. We were saying the game was over. They had that fortress. They had the castle. And now with some massive Cave Goblin shenanigans, Red House is all alone with 3 health, surrounded.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's the strength of his deck. That's the deck building. Prophet, even with really bad luck opening and just getting off on the wrong foot, seems to have brought this back in a big way.
Definitely. And you see, he started to pitch cards more. I think finally gave up on those hopes of the Brutal Force in order to just do standard Cave Goblin tactics.
That's both enrages, right?
That's both enrages. He's kind of out of juice at this point. Both unrelentings are down. Both enrages are down. Dagger's out.
Top
Smeg is out. Most of the slingers are out. All of the clingers are out.
So if Orange Lazarus can survive this last storm, then he's got it. He has the juice, but does he have the time?
Yeah, with 9 cards in hand, 9 cards in deck compared to Prophet's 3. Time is on his side in the long game, but he needs to survive this rush where time is not on his side whatsoever.
I mean, he could zombify the Clinger with a unit to the right, retreat Talus, and with a Unity summoned on the left, move it up behind so that he could create a solid wall.
Yeah, make a physical barrier because he's out of enrages.
Exactly.
So
just wall of bodies.
That is what
Yeah, I'm
zombies
really
are good
curious
for.
about that top carrier. Like why in front? It's interesting.
Yeah. Why not in back? At this point, the weakness of his current remaining units is mobility. Without clingers, he has no way to advance his force without having them slowly picked off, so he could just retreat behind his castle and wait for Prophet's units to die and run out of steam.
The Prophet 7 magic is meaningless with this deck build. Is he worried about like the Eater? Probably not.
Can't be. The 7 magic, like you said, it's meaningless. He has literally nothing left to spend it on. Both Unrelentings and Enrages are gone, and Dagger is gone. Nothing else in his deck actually costs magic, right?
Blarf blood
Nah,
runes, but
Oh, Blarf. Yeah.
We had the players send their list anonymously. So unless there was like heavy scouting, Orange Lazarus wouldn't necessarily know that there was nothing left for Profit to summon with match.
I see. You know, remind me if I ever do one of these and get to finals to just casually tune into the live commentary to see what's in my opponent's deck. Like you just see me duck in and then out. Oh, hi, Eantic. Oh, well, huh. Guess he was just popping in. Yeah.
Goes down to the 1 health.
Yeah, he has to.
I think he got it. If the Klinger had a, go ahead.
I can't agree with the top carrier. I don't know what he's doing at the top.
Me neither. I think you put that one in bottom. You put it like F2 and you hit the 1 for 2 Klinger.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because that way, I mean, when you move, what?
Okay, he's trying to soul shift in the archer, but the climber's there and the climber's not going to die. Oh, he's going to kill
the Klinger.
With
Yeah.
red.
Yeah.
And then move the archer in. Archer and carrier hit climber. Carrier beats the climber, but then the warrior is just there for no reason, I guess.
That's really risky because if Red Talus misses,
the warrior.
It's a 1 in 9 that Red Talus misses.
Yeah, and he's sacking the fallen warrior in the meantime.
Hellforged. He has a Hellforged weapon, so that makes the climber kill a lot more likely.
Yeah, but still, there's no reason the warrior should be there.
Have both sneaks been played? Attacks for the carrier.
I think we've only seen one. Now it makes sense because he gets to carry the climber and then kill something with the warrior, and the archer is just blocking the alley.
That makes sense. Worried about the economy game.
I see what he's. Yep, I see it now.
Doesn't want to be bursted.
Possible backup. Okay, he's back. He's back.
Yeah, and now you attack the. If you're committing to this, I think you just attack the 3 health bandit here.
And double sneak is out of the picture. So yeah, I know carrier.
Huge carrier turn.
You get your castle back.
The infamous carrier conga, aka donkey stack before it was cool.
Donkey stack before it was cool.
And the art. Okay, that makes sense actually.
Get rid of the extra attack. Yeah, Relentless is the bane.
The slingers first, yeah.
That's a smart move. I misspoke. I misspoke. I just misunderstood what to do there. And now it's back to Profit. Immediate climber.
Double climb. Oh, wait.
No, he can't reach Rhett.
He can't.
He doesn't have double sneak because he used up 1 sneak and he has no clingers. There's no possibility for him to reach Rhett this turn.
But he has a brutal force. I'm trying to think about it, attacking his own unit to get it on top, but it can't.
I don't think he can hit his own unit to reach Rhett because of the gates.
In this one, he can't. But for a second, I believed.
For a second, you believed.
He played so fast that I'm like, oh, he sees it. He sees it. Where's it at?
He's probably. I think he just knows that the climbers are the only route to success.
This is the kind of game that promises to be epic all the way until.
I think this is fine. You're gonna block both the summoning spots, and then you're gonna put sneaks in. You're gonna like just bring sneaks into the bottom.
Yeah, because
take advantage of the fact that he's got 11 health.
This is
kept him
dangerous.
alive this whole time.
Red Talus can't actually summon anything to block, so he can't block both sides. He can only summon on one side and block.
This is incredible by Profit. This is a great play.
This is really smart. And he probably pop sneaks in for the one on the right, the F2 one. Because you can't.
Rhett has nowhere to go. He is trapped in his castle.
There is a way out.
The poetry.
He has to nail his 2 dice so that the carrier can assimilate the climber and somebody else can move in on the side from the leftmost bottom gate.
He gets to roll 5 dice against 3 health, though. That's pretty.
Oh yeah, no, it's very grim, but it's definitely.
Normally, Red Talus would just create a shield with Raise the Dead, but with 1 health, you can't do that.
Exactly. And covering the summoning spots and Red Talus no longer being a summoning spot because of 1 health means this could be it.
It does go to show that Orange was absolutely correct taking away the extra attack unit, because being stuck on 3 attacks here is the only thing that might save him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because almost certainly all 3 have to go into that carrier. Well, hopefully 2, but
Yeah, he's out of extra attacks.
This is a fascinating game.
I know.
You're
This is
really-
fun to watch.
You're really seeing both decks be able to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
You're getting the carrier Conga. You're getting the Hellforged weapons, really making a case for Hellforged weapon as a top 10 event. And then yeah, here comes the last one. Climbers moving in.
so the
Climbers
thing
making
that
their case.
the thing
Go
that
ahead,
I
go ahead.
disagree with here is his second climber moving up, because you really want that bandit to get on that infect cursed carrier. You hopefully only have to use 3 attacks to kill the 1 carrier, because now he's going to be able to move both carriers down and throw 4 dice at that climber that's staying in the middle of the field. He goes for the archer first without even hesitation. Is he not
He wants
sneaking
to
in?
kill the archer to prevent
There it
soul
is.
shift shenanigans. Oh. That is smart.
Ooh.
Oh, so he has to use it. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
If he attacks with the climber, it's a huge roll.
Rhett can still escape next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to move left.
Yep. Well, really? Yeah.
It's such an insightful observation. I know.
This commentary, man. 5 stars.
I'm a champion, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm the next JJ Redick. You know it.
Yeah. I don't even know who that is.
He's a NBA commentator who
Oh,
is
gotcha.
really good at interviewing players. I thought about saying like Skip Bayless, but that's too low even for me.
Oh,
And gets the
I
kill.
get that.
Gets the kill.
all right.
So yeah, Rhett over, carriers down.
So what would it be?
All right.
Summon a guy on C2, move
Yep.
Rhett left, and then
Hopefully
move
an
both
Ember
carriers
Beast.
down.
An Ember Beast makes this real good.
Yeah, and then especially since the carrier that's hitting the climber will be the Hellforged Blade one. And even if he kills himself with the blade, the other carrier is still on Reptiles' side. I think Lazarus is safe here, barring a major whiff.
Oh, and there's
And
a
there's
the
fire.
He's like, no more of this Rhett having 1 health nonsense.
That puts the clock on. Prophet pretty much has to win in his next turn.
And he
Yep.
has the
Get the
beast.
beast.
There's the beast.
What a game. Oh man.
Yeah, and with the beast and the blade, it seems so unlikely that that climber won't be dead. And without any archery remaining,
So-
I don't see how Prophet wins this now.
I want to propose the play, which is wild. If carrier kills itself to Hellforged weapon, right? Oh no, he can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, if carrier kills himself to Hellforged weapon, Sneaks gets to move over, and if Sneaks 3 for 3s the new carrier, then he can move Bandit behind Sneaks, attack him, push him over with Brutal Force, and then sly out to attack Rhett one last time. If Hellforged weapon kills him.
Whoa.
Yep.
Fly out and use the climber or one of the bandits that's just kind of hiding out in the back row doing nothing right now.
Yep, and
With
we'll get a
his
literal
last
1 for
breath.
1.
And that would be if
It's
he
possible.
kills himself with Hellforged Blade, which is a reasonable possibility.
I don't know the math on that one off the top of my head, but it's like 20-30%.
It's enough that there's a world.
It's
There's
enough
a
that
light.
There's a light. The game's not over.
Game's
The
not
game
over.
is not over. Nope.
Would Orange Lazarus predict that and try not to attack with the carrier?
Well, in that case, he would
The
have
one
to
with-
attack
the-
first with the beast. And is there any way with that spot? I think that's what he's trying to figure out right now. if that spot above red is open, is there any way for Sneaks to capitalize? I think he's going through the log right now and counting climbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no
And
more sneaks. Yeah, that's the safer play, is to not like go for the chance infect, right? Like you can.
If we do summoned horde climber, we see 1, 2, or starting begin turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What?
Man, for Orange to see that right now and be like, I don't have to go for this infect.
Wait, how did he summon 5 climbers?
Yeah.
Unrelenting.
It's 4 max. Oh, right. Thank
He
you.
got an unrelenting climber early on.
Which
Yeah.
means that Orange Lazarus has to double check to make sure he didn't get 2 unrelenting climbers.
I don't think
What's
you can
that
do
move?
that.
That would
No.
just lose,
No,
right?
that loses. No, because Sneaks immediately.
Sneaks just walks around.
Yeah, Sneaks walks in and slides out if all 3
Oh,
miraculous.
it doesn't if he has another gate in hand, though.
Oh,
If Orange is still sitting on a gate, then maybe it's better to just completely eliminate that option, right?
yeah, because then the Hellforge shenanigan that you were talking about, CPU, won't happen because
Yeah.
the carrier with Hellforge won't be in that pivotal position. All right, is the 8 coming out?
Yeah, I think it's going right above Sneaks. Yep.
There it is.
You're in timeout, Sneaks. This is what I'm saying.
And that's-
Orange has this game sense where he just
He's
like,
good.
I couldn't even, I would be so tunnel visioned on like, how do I get my carrier in?
Yeah, and I would have put, just like the tactics too, I would have put the gate on E1 to protect, but leaving that extra space there gives Ret Talus room to use Raise the Dead on the next turn, which means he can't get crowded out, and it will be able to because of the sacrificial fire. Gets the kill with the carrier, also trying to prevent any damage just in case things were miscalculated. Attacks with Hellforge, gets it. That should be another carrier, right?
Yeah, you're totally going for, oh, I guess I don't know. Maybe it's cleanup time. It's probably cleanup time.
And then I guess just swing with the super buffed warrior here. You don't have any slingers to take care of. You already attacked with the carrier next to.
He has to swing with him. Yeah. Yep. Game is over.
That's. I don't think there's any. We'll see what happens.
But yeah, that was a perfect turn from Orange. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
That's textbook how you defend against cave goblins. You look and look and look for you look at every single thing the cave goblins can do, and you shut down every single option.
Yep.
The game log is
With
your friend.
both- yeah, with all climbers gone, all clingers gone, all sneaks gone, enrage the horde's gone.
9
I mean, he's
magic,
got 4 cards
nothing to
left.
spend on.
Yep. It is over, but it was close.
Oh yeah, and as we watch the cleanup, I think now would be a good time to discuss the deck lists that both characters. I'll interrupt you if we see something magical from Prophet, but the deck list that these guys brought in. First off, Orange Lazarus's swaps. We take a look at the chat, scroll way up. We can see that there was a couple substitutions for the default. Yeah, Coffee asked what champs Cave Goblins had. It was Dagger, Smeg, and Blarf. That is correct.
Yep.
Kind of the mainstream picks. Dagger's just so good with.
To confirm
Go
real
ahead.
quick, I'm messaging Orange just to tell him that I thought that play was awesome. He doesn't know what Prophet's deck list is, and he was worried that he was packing a Fury. Like he brought in Tundra Orc's
Ooh.
Primal Fury, and he just like, I have to play around that.
That's a really good point.
Coming into
That
the
is.
finals is crazy.
Yep.
And yeah, there's nothing. He managed to lock that option out as well. We had the advantage of seeing the deck list.
He did.
But with that wall there, Sneaks can't Primal Fury.
Interestingly, without that 2 out of 2, he wouldn't have locked out that option. The
That's a good
carrier
point.
getting 2 out of 2 on the climber.
Hmm.
Because he wouldn't have had to kill it with the beast, and then that would have been an empty gap.
Yeah.
And so you could get a 3 for 3. You need the 3 for 3, but it would happen.
And then force 2 spaces and hit red. That's if he had Primal Fury, of course.
Yeah, which we having the deck list. No, he doesn't.
Yeah. That's interesting because it means by not playing Brutal Force, he didn't reveal what his 4th event was. So Prophet was able to bluff Primal Fury or any other events and force Lazarus to constrain his play. That's really interesting. That could be a strategy in deck building.
Yeah, deception.
Yeah, deception, like not playing an event that you know would be somewhat useful but not that useful in order to bluff that you might have a more useful event for the matchup.
That's a Sun Tzu strategy. Because he knows he's gonna play the Enrages. He knows he's gonna play the Unrelentings. But the other 2 options are kind of up in the air.
Yep. Exactly. And he played the first sneak, so Lazarus is gonna assume he has the other sneak, but he saves the Brutal Force. It was never that useful for him to play it, and now Lazarus has no way of knowing what his last event is.
And fortunately for Orange Lazarus, he was able to play around all of the options.
Yep. Wonder how feasible that will be as more and more decks are released, though.
That's a good point. You have to start making predictions. And there might become like you have the standard, especially as the decks become more people play deck building. The decks become standardized, and everybody might be playing, Cave Goblins, Sneak Cave Goblins, Brutal Force Cave Goblins. And so you start bringing Primal Fury Cave Goblins as a meta pick to fake that you're doing Brutal Force, and then you hit them with a 1-2 punch.
Yep. Oh man, there are going to be so many things in the future in this game.
This is such a good game. Again,
I love
huge
this game.
fan, massive fan.
Can Blarf
See
do
that
it?
fan.
Can 10 Magic Blarf get there?
Let's go. This is the hour for 10 Magic Blarf.
This is the time. Blarf, set it up in the left, giving him some time. Again with the basketball metaphors, like Giannis Antetokounmpo, charging up, getting the sprint in. The climber still hanging on the back row. MVP right here. Obviously.
It's so hard because Pyre's gonna go off, right? You can't not clear units this turn.
Yeah, Prophet Guy is sitting like, what do I do? On the move phase. The member of the big 3 winning again. Orange Lazarus just cleans up these tournaments. I'm a little biased because the guy gave me a Brub card when he won CBCB4. He won the card that he owned himself, and so he just sent it over.
That was the most disappointing moment.
Can you say, Niantic, you're cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, we completely
Can you
lost
say that
you.
again?
Oh, he's like froze screen for me.
Oh, he's gone. Just like Prophet's hopes and dreams, Ian has vanished into the void.
I can still hear you.
I can technically hear you.
You can technically. Internet.
Yeah, this is
I wonder
This
if
is-
like
this is-
if they are clocking themselves because like we're almost at like an hour and a half, right? That's if we were super. I think it's good that they didn't do 45-minute clocks because this game is too good to just like start
Yeah.
speed chessing.
yeah.
Yeah, and also I'm glad that we don't keep a stringent timer on it. It's just like try to keep it around 45 minutes. You know, we
Mhm.
want a good game, we
Yeah.
want a fast game, but we're not going to be cutthroat about it. I don't know if y'all heard
And I think-
anything or whether I.
Yeah.
No, I think you're kind of back now. And refreshing it from my screen, it just looks like
Okay.
oh no, that the clock was updated. Technically, Profit would have timed out if we were playing on 45 minutes.
Yeah, but nobody here
It doesn't
wanted
matter.
to see that happen.
Yeah,
they,
we'd
bo-
much
they
rather
both would
see
have
the
timed
Korean.
out, right? They're both past 45 at this point. Is
I
that- am I reading
think
it right? Yeah.
no, I think Orange Lazarus is at like 36 minutes. He's got like 9 minutes left.
Personally, I would prefer if they play with real clocks and even lower than 45, maybe 40, 35. That's my opinion. I even dislike that we can think so much when we play a sync. I mean, there's no other solution, but yeah, it's just I don't think it's positive that people have like infinite time. I
That's
mean,
fair.
in chess, I don't like playing 2 hours clock chess. I prefer just super fast clock checks, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah, obviously, some of us enjoy those 7-hour chess games, or at least watching them and everything. But or at least watching highlights because we don't have that much time in our day.
Yeah, it might be a
But,
better
the
viewer experience.
Summer
too.
Wars. Yeah, Summer Wars needs to be faster, especially when it's commentated like this. But it usually is. If both players know what they're doing, it shouldn't take that long unless they're trying to calculate every option. I think deck building makes it take longer because you're trying to calculate every card your opponent can have in their deck.
We'll just say that this is more of a like a pod.
I think
rather than a track sprint mode.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah,
I want to be clear on why I prefer lower clocks. The first is obviously in this case like this for spectators. I think like keeping the games under a certain time is good, but also for the players because you're playing that fine line where how much time you can take for your turn. I mean, if you really want to win, you really want to think every move, and I can assure you, I can use a 2-hour clock if I want to think everything. But
That's a
I
good
don't want
point.
to be abusive, so you have to be crossing that line when you have to kind of not playing optimally, to not like be abusive of the infinite time. Like it's I don't know. I prefer to just give me a time and I will try to use that time. I think mentally for
That
me
makes
it's better.
sense. That makes sense. Because even at this point, everybody's honorable about it, but it's best to not like have to make people think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for example, I mean, everyone has played that Polar Dwarf turn where you took 25 minutes for a turn to see.
That's a good point.
I mean,
It makes Polar Dwarfs much more in line with everyone else.
Yep.
I guess it would kind of buff Vanguards too, because you kind of know what you want to do, which is
That's a good thing to say.
I actually have been thinking about that really recently, and even more so, I think that people are like a little bit less safe with their summoners in live clock, and a renewed hope turn can really just like punish you if like you misposition your summoner as against VG.
Yeah, I think I'll try it. We'll try. Because we're at the point as a community where it's still early. We're still trying things out. Every single CBCB tournament has used a different format for that reason. just to try to see what works. It seems like the pools to bracket approach makes people happy. But
Yes.
The only
I
tournament
hope-
win that I'm sporting over Orange Lazarus is from Ollie's Blitz. If anyone remembers
oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's a powerful one.
That was a fun tournament. I kind of miss 45-minute clocks, but I understand getting everybody on board with the 3 days is way more valuable.
I do think that I hope we can convince the show that at least for private games we can set the clock to whatever time we want, so we can try different times. I mean, we are like maybe 45 minutes, maybe 35, maybe 40. I don't know. We are kind of forced to just try 45 or nothing.
Yeah. It is one, not to make excuses, it is one guy. Again, for any new player, if you've stuck around this long and you're new to the game, awesome, welcome. We'd love to have you on the Discord. It's a pretty small game. It's one dude programming, like a handful of developers, a handful of like custom fan developers like Eantic, making their own decks.
Got to attacks.
All right.
Here we
I
go.
really think Prophet was just sitting there. He's like, how do I like not just give up here? Because that's probably all he wants to do right now, but he can't. He's got to try to look for a lot.
Yeah, how do I die with dignity? Die with dignity. Although that extra kill that he just got is an extra unit for Ret Talus.
Oh no.
Yeah, clearing carriers at this point is well, I mean, like, I don't know if Orange Lazarus is ever going to press that raise dead button again.
Good point. Just in case. Because Orange still doesn't know about the primal.
Yeah. That's true. Those last 3 cards, man.
Yeah, and you're always worried, especially when you like think you've won the game and you're seeing those 3 cards, like, what do you have there? What shenanigans can you
Yeah.
pull?
He goes for the. I was kind of wondering if he was going to go for the gate.
I
Try to
think going
blow
for
that
the
gate
carry
out
is
of
the
the
right
way.
move. Pray that
he needs to kill that carrier right now.
Otherwise, it's just value for Orange.
Exactly. It's literally, he didn't do any damage at all to it. He doesn't kill it right now.
I mean, what can he do? He already attacked the sneaks. I think that's it.
And then if it kills the card, there's one extra boost. So more life to red to revive more units. I think at this point, other than the concede button, I don't see any other play.
Well, yeah, he can still kill one other unit because Rhett with 6 health is the same as Rhett with 5 health as far as he gets 2 more units either way. He's gonna have 5 health, so he might as well kill the carrier. And plus, we know that Blarf needs that 10th magic.
I think slying in that full health climber isn't terrible here.
Yeah. Or
Just because
sliding
then he
Blarf,
has
he's
to
a
do
zero
he has to block that gate somehow, and then also get like the wall in front of him.
What do you feel about sliding in Blarf, CPU?
I think you want to build Blarth a little bit more. I think that's Prophet's like, okay, maybe I can make this game go long enough that Blarf can win me back. You at least want to like farm it up to kill carriers by itself before you want to throw it in.
Gotcha.
Blarf in the hole.
Exactly.
Oh.
No! It is ultra over for Prophet.
That's not what you want to see.
No. I don't know. Can y'all still hear me, by the way?
Yep, you're better
Yeah,
now.
you're legible now.
Oh, I've been back. Awesome. I just thought about typing in the chat because I'm like, man, my internet hates me.
Now you've been back for a little bit, but I didn't want to say anything because you could disappear at any moment. But it's been long enough now.
All right, nice. Yeah, so I agree with all of what y'all have been saying. And this, he needed that dice so badly. That was, I don't think he can really come back, but like somebody said in chat, this Blarf in the hole might be able to do something, but he has got to clear those carriers. And also, as we pointed out, Blarf needs 10 magic to reach full potential.
Orange proving me wrong and slamming that raise dead button right away. Like, not even worrying about it.
Nope.
Blood
Blood
summon.
summon?
He hasn't used it all game. Is he gonna blood summon off the carrier?
I don't know what's
He
happening.
is! Oh no!
Wow.
Just insult
I
to
guess
injury.
building defense against Primal Fury, probably.
Yep.
It's just like your goblins will
Yes.
do nothing to this prophet. This is the fortress is established.
The game is far more over than you thought it was.
Well, I mean, like, so technically we can't rule out that he pretty much cut all the range from the deck. He had a couple of cultists, but he played a bunch early. If Prophet can get into some situation where like he starts taking inactivity damage,
That's
he
true.
has full health.
Yep, that's true. How fast can
How
he
do
get his warriors across the board?
You got all 3 gates out though, and you got the carrier sitting on that 5 health gate.
Yeah, so, and even worst case scenario, the carrier dies, that warrior then comes in and starts hammering at the gate while the other units advance.
I do find this weird that like he's going so far into this line, but like a tragic whiff loses him the game on that climber, right?
Yeah. Does he not see that?
He's for sure gonna get it up to like 5-6 attack here, but like, yikes.
Yeah, that's a risky.
I mean, he gets a movement left. He can move straight to the right, and that's
Oh,
it.
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Watered.
If he does that, then he's not accounting for Fury anymore. Oh, no, wait, he is, because Warrior has 4 health. Right, this isn't Grog Fury. This is Sneak's Fury.
Yep.
He's
Sneaks
got the
is less
one move
furious.
left.
You're
Are we
absolutely right,
gonna
Watered.
see Red Talus shift? We're not gonna see Red
No.
Talus shift.
Oh my gosh,
This
this game
is-
might not be
the game-
over.
It's
Why
not
would he
over
do
till it's
this?
over.
Why would he do this?
He's
Lazarus!
going to get
Orange is a man of content. He's a man of content. I cannot believe this.
Yeah,
What?
this makes no sense. It makes a
It's
game that it
probably-
was 99% chance of winning went to like, I don't know, 80,
98.
70.
We're
5
still
against
swinging
3.
6 dice.
And
5
now for the
and
roll
3.
that determines the game. Okay.
Oh, he got it.
Okay, he gets it. He gets
But
it.
he risked it. I can't-
That's crazy. That's
Lazarus
wild.
just
I
wanted
should
the
say. I should say
adrenaline
that's
rush.
wild.
He just wanted the adrenaline rush.
Why didn't he go for carrier to beast first? If he was gonna do that, get one more dice.
You're giving more chances to the opponent. That's why.
I don't know. It's sporting chance. He just wanted to give his opponent a sporting chance.
These warriors are huge now. I mean, that's fair.
7, 7, 7. It'll go down to 3. It'll go down to 5 after the turn, but still. Except for
That guy's
one,
still
it's
7.
still just busted.
Yeah, Blarf's got his work cut out for him.
And with 3 cards. That would have been so crazy, so wild though, if that whiffed.
Yeah, and then he comes back and wins. That's crazy.
Imagine if it whiffed and then the clinger and sneaks whiff, like this Brett.
Like in
But
this
what would even
setup,
happen?
it
He
wouldn't have
be able
mattered.
to kill Sneaks next turn.
Yeah, I don't think he can. And like Rhett can't run away fast enough because of how he's like stacked his field.
Exactly. So it wouldn't
Think
even
about a
matter
castle
in
that
the
keeps
end
you in.
if they whiffed. That just, he shouldn't have left that open, but whatever, it worked.
I'm lamenting the loss of the content right now.
Well, yeah, we'll have to ask Lazarus what he was doing with that.
For sure.
Profits just head into keyboard right now, you know.
Yeah, you know, Sneaks is full health, and I can't help but think that he should have been using Sneaks more this game.
He was worried about the burst.
Right.
He got more and more desperate. I agree.
I think like
It
we
is
go
called-
back to that turn, like when he still had like the huge horde right before his like huge enraged turn, right? It could have let Sneaks kill a carrier and get 2 attacks from a slinger onto Rhett. I mean, we got down to 1 HP. It was really close, but
Yeah. I mean, I think obviously Sneaks taking risks against Rhett is hard, but it is called daring for a reason. Daring factions have to be daring at some point, or they're just not going to work properly.
True.
But yeah, I don't know. Well played to both sides. It kind of swung back and forth.
For
And
sure.
even
for
at
sure.
the end there, Lazarus almost throwing for content.
we love to see it.
Yeah.
Retreating with the carrot with a climber. Going for inactivity damage?
Has to.
Maybe he's going to hit his own gate.
Probably.
I mean, I would go for an activity damage. If only that 7 damage warrior weren't right within range of the 10 health gate.
Yeah, which makes Lazarus's play seem really good. I mean, like he let himself potentially lose for 3%, but he's right there to prevent the inactivity loss. Losing 1 out of 1,000 times versus giving yourself an advantage. I definitely see it.
I
That's
see it,
fair.
but I feel like he had that same guard against the inactivity loss just with the carrier in front of the gate and the warrior there. Because then, you know, like he's got 2 turns of inactivity with 3 health. He can move his warrior up to where it is now and then hit the 10 health gate next turn. So he doesn't need to be there. I don't know. I feel like,
Yeah. Plus, he could have attacked his beast with the carrier before attacking with the warrior.
oh yeah, definitely. No,
So they're tactical mistakes.
I think he's just trying to honor the 45-minute timer. But none of us care at this point because the game ended within the 45-minute timer as far as we're concerned. We're just watching it play out.
Yeah. In the YouTube, I'll put a timestamp so you can skip to the interviews. Unless, of course, Prophet pulls it out.
Yeah, and then the fact that you said that and there's no timestamp on the video right now, everyone will know what happened.
Maybe that's all the maybe that's the misdirection.
Ah.
That's what I'll say if I forget to do it.
Yeah, that it was just misdirection. All right.
Yeah. Just like the daring faction, just like the trickery factions. See, misdirection right there.
Yep.
Funny.
Yeah, I think he needs to get rid of his own gates as quickly as possible because Sneaks has the health to outrange Rhett in an inactivity war.
Which is weird that he's not keeping Blarf on that gate, right? You try to just 5 for 5 it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've only just now gotten to where like okay, Prophet, it's been a little bit. These end game turns. I totally get it.
What's he got in his hand though? Well, there's a way we can find this out, and I'll take the opportunity to show it off. We've been talking about the game log, right? There's this feature on summonerwarzone.com, which is our hub for all things Summoner Wars. And if you go into the game log here, inspect element, just pick any line to get to the right part and move up to right here, full log. Right click, copy outer HTML, go back to the thing and paste it right in this. That's not the link. Must not have clicked it. Copy outer HTML. There we go. Hit enter. It will give you a full with the like HTML and everything log of every action that has happened during the game from what that game log can pick up.
Does enter work, or do you have to click the submit button?
I'll click, I think enter works, but I click submit just to be safe.
It has been a long game.
Yeah, it takes a while to load. Any action on the game front? Still thinking.
No, I'm just staring at this beautiful 7 melee undead warrior.
That's true. That's very beautiful. Look at
It's
that.
such a gorgeous unit.
It's a 7-4 for 2. How is that fair?
Yeah,
How
what
is that
happened?
legal? Nobody has 7 attack except Shonk, and Shonk doesn't even have 7 attack.
No, he barely has 2 when I use him. I don't know what's going on with y'all, but
If we're talking about 1 for 2, Shonk is the king of that. And here it is. Here's the game log I was talking about. And so you can see everything that happened. Looking over the stats of the game outside of garbage time, we got very similar. The hit miss ratios look fair considering Cave Goblins had more ranged units.
Sneaks takes his first damage of the game. That means the game's just getting started, right?
That means the
True.
game's just getting started. Yeah, I think the turtle is like very ambitious at this point.
Orange Lazarus, hero of the game, working a lot quicker, taking down the gate.
That he doesn't have any beast riders. He cut all of them coffee.
That's a good question, though.
It's a great question.
Yeah, what is going on here? Because now Rhett is definitely taking a damage from inactivity.
Well, I think to counter Profit's like trying to maximize all of this, I think Orange Lazarus is trying to just like push the speed a little bit. We'll see if that like ends up really hurting him.
It definitely will. I mean, he's playing right into a Prophet's hands here. Inactivity is going to be
Rhett has 6 mana and we haven't seen Holios. We know what's in the deck.
That's true. I don't know.
I think 1 inactivity is not the worst.
Right.
Yeah.
And he can move his units forward then, but the challenge for Prophet will be to take out the units that were moved forward for 2 whole waves. I don't know.
So again, for the newer players, to discourage turtling or just like hiding for the whole game, there's a rule that if you don't attack an enemy card, you take 1 damage on your summoner per turn. And so
one of the best rules of the
Profit
game.
It's a really good rule because it prevents so much really annoying stuff. This is one of the sort of edge cases where it kind of comes against what
Yeah,
you want to do.
Orange really should have attacked the carrier there, but I get it. It's difficult.
Orange should not have killed the gate. He should have left that gate open to himself to attack as he advances his forces this turn.
What are we rewinding, Prophet? What?
What, dude? I'm gonna send Prophet a message.
Province
Dude,
like,
take
wait,
your
there's a
turns
slightly
faster.
more optimal way to turtle right now. Right from the beginning, right from the
Please.
summon phase.
Take your turns a little faster.
Hey.
You gotta. This is really when you want to optimize your moves.
Yeah, I know. And this is like this is the Orange Lazarus possibly throwing again for content. He is determined to get that content. He is like, no, Shibata, you are not putting in a timestamp. People are watching this to the very end.
Anything could happen. We've entered outside the realm of tactics and game theory and strategy and entered into the world of psychology.
Yeah.
With whatever is happening here. We get the Sly, protecting the 1 health climber. We take the damage. And I'm predicting Holius pops up here. But if not, like, Rhett's gonna be fine.
Oh,
Cultist, that
Cultist.
works too.
Perfect.
Oh, he does have a ranged unit. That's beautiful. While he advances his forces, okay.
Make sure to make fun of.
we will do it. We've already been doing it, Ben. But thank you for joining us. Again, for the YouTube people, Ben just commented, have to head out, but thanks for the amazing commentary. Thank you. Be sure to make fun of Prophet on my behalf, win or lose. This is my revenge for all the bread gifs. Again,
Now it's just a
for
game of
your-
moving just close enough because you have the range unit.
Yeah, but he won't
Are we
have the
gonna see the
ranged unit
carrier?
for long.
True.
Actually, won't he though? Oh, he doesn't know what the
if
3
Prophet-
remaining cards are.
If Prophet keeps turtling. I don't know, we're just seeing Blarf get bigger and bigger too.
Yep. Blarf hitting up that 10 magic.
You got to kill the cultist. The range is going to take you out of the game.
I will say this deck looks brilliant on Prophet's part, but I do wish he had something else to do with the magic because magic is a resource this game gives you and utilizing it has great payoff.
Agreed. I think it might just be a little too cheap.
Yeah, I think the deck wants to win about like 12 turns ago, so this normally isn't as much of a problem.
Right.
But...
Right.
How many turns have we had so far anyway?
We're like 20 plus.
Yeah, this is turn 24. You're right.
A gate?
A gate.
There's that forward gate Sneaks was looking for, and right when he hits 8 health.
It happens.
Yeah.
Coffee commenting the magic is kind of inflated against Rhett. Good point. The dude is probably the most common heavy faction aside from Sneaks himself.
Yeah.
And
The
now
game
Mist
is
will
like, come
decide
on
the
now.
game.
He can't even, man. And now Blarf can be hit. They're in spitting distance of Blarf. Once he saw the cultist, he was like, all right, I'm not gonna inactivity this guy. I'm just gonna play the gate.
The Blarf in the hole has gotten to 5 attack. Blarf made it.
Yep.
Excellent.
But he's gonna get chipped by Warrior. Imagine that on a whim of madness, Lazarus decides to kill all his own units just to buff that 1 health Warrior to 7 dice to kill Blarf.
Yeah, the purge turn.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got
Great
another
idea.
carrier. Jiminy
Here
Christmas.
it comes. Here it comes. I think my connection is safe enough for me to put on my video again.
All right.
If it starts getting bad, I'll stop the video again.
We get to kill a 1 for 2.
Yep.
Just zombifying every unit just for style points.
Zombies, endless waves of zombies. Oh no. 3 out of 3.
You think that might spell the end of the game for Profit?
Does Orange not know he doesn't have any more carriers?
Orange does not know.
Whoops.
Yes, no more carriers.
All 5 of them are out. You literally cannot have more than 5 on their carriers
Yeah.
because there's 4 in
Well-
your deck max, and then there's 1 in the starting.
He got an early release of
Right.
Slumber Dwarf, so he's gonna play a plague carrier. You know,
Yeah.
infect works for any carrier.
That wasn't
True.
an infection attempt.
Wait,
that
not
was
for
an
the
execution
ended one.
for not
Oh
doing
no, it
better.
is for the ended one. You're right.
Yeah, he has all 5.
That's really funny.
No, it was a magic denial strategy.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you can't let Blarf get to 11.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't let it happen.
Yep. In Lazarus's defense, I would have done that too at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, of course you attack here.
Yeah.
Orange just
That's like-
messaged me. Whoops, should have checked for more carriers.
Yep.
Also, Prophet said apologies will do for the turns. So
Yeah,
I
they're
will
just two
stop
sad
clowning
brutal
on the
forces
guy.
sitting in his hand, right? That's got to be
For what?
two. Oh, go ahead.
Too sad about Brutal Force. You never got the
Too-
chance to use it.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's very strong, but like never linked up this time.
Yeah. Thunderworks sneaks a lot of stuff, but none of it came into here. The charges weren't used. Shonk has been outclassed by Dagger. And yeah, Brutal Force just never happened.
Yeah.
All right. Blarf doing his job, getting the kill.
Yep. That's his first attack of the game. All right.
The Sly for extra shenanigans.
Yeah,
This is really
just
smart.
to keep Blarf safe.
Makes sense.
Trying to kill that carrier, picking up the change. I mean, you can't really blame the other carrier though, because the other carrier was just a mindless zombie. He didn't know that he was attacking his friend.
True. I mean, they always, whenever they attack their friends, they heal them. So it's like, why wouldn't it happen the same way this time?
Exactly.
A zombie gnawing another zombie's face is like a sign of affection and love.
Right.
Oh, man.
No way.
Oh my goodness. Oh man.
we don't have to clown on Prophet. Orange Lazarus is doing it for us.
Yep.
The completely unnecessary elusive ball summon.
Totally unnecessary. Did you really need to do that? Did you need to play that?
That's so gratuitous.
Yep.
Just pure muscle, says Coffee. I agree.
Pure flexing. Yeah.
Wow, I love it. Last card.
Yeah.
It's 5.
There it goes. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
again, a loop ball stat line 666. Just
Yeah.
glorious.
Yep. Although he really needed better stats or something for that cost. Oh, there's 5 out of 5. All right, now Sneaks and Rhett have even health, so that means it's even, right?
Yep,
True.
absolutely even game. Board states don't
Nope.
matter.
That's right.
Yep, there's the brutal force.
Woo!
We got it. We finally
Oh,
saw it.
man.
He slaps him aside. He's just like, get out of my face!
Get out of here.
Get out of my face! Yep. He's coming right back.
That's a beautiful, beautiful game. And it's ending with a loop ball, doing what he does best. 5 out of
Gee.
6.
GG.
GG.
Wow, what a game. What a set of swings.
Good game, everybody. Thank you, Coffee. And that's it. GG.
Yep.
Feel free to come in for interviews. Profit
Go up.
at Orange Lazarus.
Yeah, let's get those interviews up. I'm looking forward to this. The prophet's like, oh my word. I cannot believe that he saved Abel for his last card.
That's so great.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. Good. There's some tight moments in that one. You got
Definitely.
Yeah. One health Rhett is never a comfortable feeling.
No. No, that was, yeah, that was very, very close. There were definitely swings in there where we were wondering, did it just strike the death blow, or does Lazarus have a way out of this?
Yeah. The I knew he had like those climbers and a sneak or something in there. Moving up Rhett, that one move, I actually wasn't thinking about that slinger from the side. I just didn't want to get surrounded by a climber if he had like a double sneak, but that was probably not the wisest thing to do, but oh well.
Hello,
You made it happen. Hello.
this is Prophet. I don't know how to
Hello.
change your name.
Welcome.
Prophet, I presume?
Yep. That was an intense game. Oh man, I go on a blood frenzy when I see someone at 1 HP. I just stop thinking. But yeah, it was a good match. I was very disappointed in my Beast Rider the first couple of turns.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
0 for 3. That's 1 in 216, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was something tragic. I was so disappointed in them. But
And then the next roll was 1 out of 3. So it was 1 out of 6 melee dice
yeah.
for that Beast Rider.
Yeah. I already had thoughts that this matchup would be pretty difficult for the Goblins. The carriers are just so hard to deal with. They steal the positions, and I don't really have a real good response for them. There was a moment of hope when I had back-to-back sneaks and climbers, and I saw that I was able to get in there. I just had to pray that of his last 7 cards, like 5 of them, or of the last 8 cards, 5 of them weren't gates. I was like, oh man. But that was very well played, Orange Lazarus. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, likewise. It was the double unrelenting to start is like it's like the
That's
worst
powerful.
nightmare. That was brutal, but you know, I was able to get through it. And you're right, that Beast Rider didn't do you any favors, but yeah, that was I was telling them I was worried about that, the climber and the double sneak toward the end there, and that's what I don't know if it was the right thing or not. In my mind, I thought if I move Rhett up 1 space, that would prevent you from getting your climber in that space and then sneaking up a clinger to surround me and do some kind of pile-on damage. But it actually, I don't know if that was the right move or not, if you could have swung that, but getting in there, get me down to 1 health was rough.
Yeah, I was like, oh please, God, I'm so close. I just need to move 1 space. But that gate really messed up my plans. I was like, well, I don't have an answer for this. Towards the end, I was hoping I could pull off some magic with Blarf, charging him up. But I just didn't have enough units on the board. That was rough.
Yeah, and then Abel hit the field.
Oh yeah,
Can I
that
do
was
one question.
That was funny.
yeah.
Orange, why do you see that you almost threw the game? That I mean, in
Why
a
did
moment
not hold him back?
Yeah, get to the
you left a
turn.
situation where if you whiff against the clinger, you die, and you didn't
Right.
need to do that.
You're right. You're right. I shouldn't have done. I mean, I with so many dice on the warrior, I thought the chances were pretty low. I'd go 2 for 5. And I actually, when I was moving it, I was thinking I would have 6, but I didn't calculate that right. But You're right. It was
Well, you just
unnecessary.
did your attacks in no
Actually,
order.
it will, but you also messed up the attack order. You attacked first with the water and then with the carrier. So you had one less boost than you had to do. You had to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I could have done that better. I didn't need to risk it like that. You're right.
Yeah, we said you were throwing for content.
No big deal. No big deal.
Yeah.
Yep, it worked out in the end. Yeah, no,
I'm curious
very
about-
well played.
I'm curious about the way you guys set up your decks. Why did you choose to make the substitutions that you did, like Holius or Dagger, or using the 4/0 costers you did instead of using the Charger?
Yeah, I mean, I can go ahead. So I opted to use. So I think there was a discussion in the Discord about whether or not I should use Bandit or Charger, and I originally had Charger before Cloak's release because they were a great way to deal with like gate mitigation or like not drawing gates, and I could do some pretty far-reaching moves with a Charger charge and then a Clinger right behind it. But what I found is that having residual bodies is actually much more useful for goblins, especially in this deck, because I sort of rely on Brutal Force and Enrage the Horde to maximize the amount of damage or dice I can roll. So having units just sort of linger on is crucial. And with Bandits pile on, it allowed me to sort of stay around and sort of push forward. Whereas Chargers are just going to be at 1 health and die anyways. And I think in this particular matchup, they're particularly bad because they can't really deal with carriers and they're just easy carrier food. So Dagger is a pretty easy pick for me because I mean, he's essentially a secondary sneaks. Unfortunately, she got wiped like immediately, but she in most of my games, I can either use her to basically get 3 hits off of 1 contact point or just move my units around, because this deck struggles with mobility because I can just summon everything, but I can't move everything. So I think those 2 choices were pretty strong for me. And it makes the deck really efficient and consistent because I never run into an issue where I have to choose between mana to charge up Blarf, mana to summon Dagger, mana to play Unrelenting. I have surplus all the time.
Yeah, for me, I kind of picked originally when I was entering the tournament and picking a faction to deck build with. I really don't do. I should do more deck building, but I picked Fallen Kingdom because no one had picked them. I just wanted to kind of make it interesting, but there's not. I don't feel like there's a ton of options. I mean, maybe people are more creative than I am with Fallen Kingdom. The main reason I like the Beast. I feel like half the value of the Ember Beast is just getting units down to 1 life, so there's much less stress with the carriers. Because anyone who's played Fallen Kingdom knows that feeling of, wondering if you're gonna go 1 for 2 and have a huge kind of difference in the turn. So, but also the way I tend to play Fallen Kingdom is, or at least with this deck, I like to really center it around Blood Summon and kind of go like the economical, just wear your opponent away and try and end up with just more gas in the tank than they have when you get to the end of the game. So I really try and center around Blood Summon, though I didn't anticipate playing Sneaks in the final. So really I felt like that was the loot choice in there is more kind of to deal with some of the beefier factions that have high value units. Like if I would have played level 3 CPU, I'd been facing Tundra Orcs, in which case he can be pretty valuable to kind of wipe out gates and deal with some of the beefier units there. So other than that, I don't even know what other events I could have subbed in, but I like Rhett's events, so I just kept all the normal stuff other than those 2.
No, yes, I'm surprised you choose Red, because Red is not like even 2nd wave complete with deck building because it's missing 1 full symbol. You have no. What's the symbol that's missing? Dark. You have no dark to substitute. You only have fire.
No, you're
And
right.
not
And
only that, but he needs undead units to operate. Only things that really get replaced in his deck are champions most of the time. So like we were even surprised you replaced the undead archer, although as it turned out, the undead archer was a part of your deck. It hit the field almost every turn.
Exactly. Well, that's the interesting thing is the undead archer almost always gets killed early, and then you just keep raising it and it'll get killed, but you just raise it again. So I don't feel like you need a whole lot of them in your deck. And you have to remember too, Water D, when this started, cloaks and avians hadn't released, so I couldn't even choose Savannah elves or what's the other one that didn't have deck building? Oh, benders or breakers. They didn't have any options yet, so all the other ones were taken. So I just took Fallen Kingdom since no one had.
Okay.
I think you're absolutely right with like not swabbing out any of the events, right? Because like Burn and Divine Ret, like they require your summoner to be way more in the action than you ever want to be, especially in this matchup. It just doesn't make any sense. I do think they're going to get a great tool from Fungar Dwarves, that one that lets you like attack again and then you have to sacrifice the unit, right? Because like on a charged warrior, that's going to be crazy.
That does still require you to be within 3 spaces though. But still, it's much stronger than something like Burn. I cut you off, Orange?
No, I'm curious. Do you guys have any other questions? What'd you think about my little house for Rhett, my little like square?
Oh, we were commenting on that. That was gorgeous. The castle, the for it was a perfect square. I said, man, wasn't it just Prophet himself commenting the other day that he bases all his formations off aesthetic appeal? And now we have this beautiful, beautiful house. It's coming up in the replay too.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This was tough. I mean, I think this is absolutely what you should do. Just wall off with units. I could not get in. I mean, there was a point where I had climbers and I was like, oh, I have a chance here. But yeah, I honestly, I was like, man, this is gorgeous. I hate to be on the receiving end of this.
Prophet, I'm really curious. We just kind of went past where you like played your first gate and you
This
were
is
really
it.
like
about to ask.
deciding where you wanted to put that, right? You had it on your first row a couple of times. I really liked when you had it up on the right side of the board because I thought that always threatened climber sneak really well. Why did you end up deciding to go with the far left side of your right side of the board?
So I think in that particular turn, and I typically place it there, I needed to kill an archer to get enough magic for dagger. I was like 1 magic short, and I tried so many different ways, but like I needed my slinger in the spot I would have placed the gate. Alternatively, I could have placed it 1 closer to the border of the map, but it's not great because I can't cling anything. And so I figured, okay, I have the reach, but I don't have the clinger. So I have to either choose between my first row and just hope I can make it there, or just start accumulating my forces on that side. I wasn't sure if that was necessarily the right move, but I couldn't hold dagger anymore, and I was definitely not going to discard her. So I felt I just got to put her out and hope for that I get another gate soon, which I do hear.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot more sense than when like watching. I think that's one of the biggest things is not knowing what you guys have in your hand, which makes it exciting for us. But like that dagger tension makes a lot more sense for the gate placement.
Yeah, my first hand was very, very painful. I drew 2 Unrelentings and an Enrage the Horde and a dagger, none of which I could play.
No.
And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I gotta accumulate magic, get dagger out, and hope that Unrelenting is worth it. So that's why you see me play Unrelenting basically my first 2 turns, was because I couldn't pitch Enrage and I couldn't pitch any of the cards, to be honest. And I was like, okay, well.
Prophet, are you telling me that of the 5 cards in your deck that require magic to play, you drew all 5 of them?
I drew 4. I didn't draw the second Enrage, so
Oh, okay.
I drew 4 of them. But yeah, I didn't get Brutal Force until like the last 2 hands, and I was just like, I don't know if it would have made a difference, to be honest. I think Orange did a pretty good job kind of clumping up his units here, so I couldn't really break through.
Did you pack Fury? Because I was worried about Fury, especially at the end when you had sneaks in the corner. I was worried you would Fury over. I figured you had Brutal Force, but that was one of the hardest things. Later on, that's why I didn't bring down that Hellforged carrier, because I was afraid it would destroy itself and then you'd be able to Fury in.
Right. No, I don't run Primal Fury anymore. I opted to change it out for Sneak. I found that Primal Fury definitely has its turns. Like right here, I could have swapped in my Clinger. I don't think I could have killed you. I definitely don't have lethal, but it was too situational. I think most of the times you'll really play so that I never get one contact point off of you. I got lucky here, but even then I still wouldn't have killed you. But yeah, I don't run Primal Fury anymore just because I found that most decks I play in the custom deck building match, there's a lot of OTK possibilities. So I almost never want to go in with Sneaks just because I feel like I never know what's going to happen. And I'd rather just let my 0 cost sort of pick at you until I can feel comfortable with it. And you'll see that I honestly love Sneak. I found that it was so great in this match. Just to be able to get through your walls with my climbers. I don't think Primal Fury would have done me as much as Sneak did here. So that's sort of why I didn't run that.
Oh yeah, I think Sneak was pretty invaluable here for sure. I would question Brutal Force versus Primal Fury, but I mean Primal Fury to me is a tool that you use first for assassination and second for economy. And if you're not going for economy, then you probably don't want it in your deck.
Yeah. Chibata, if you go back on this turn here to begin his turn, he had that awesome enraged turn, and then if you see what was left, what I drew in my hand, I had like 2 blood summons, a gate. Like it wasn't a great. I was a little worried about how that was going to play out. But fortunately the carrier hit, but it was.
I honestly thought your gate was literally the game changer for me. I was counting it out. So here I'm sort of going into here and I figured, okay, this has got to be checkmate because I don't know how you'd be able to deal with both sides. But then the only thing I thought was okay, you can't summon, you can't raise the dead, but if you had a gate, I'm basically done. Yeah, this was, I sort of lost it here. I was like, oh man, is it?
He could have walked down the 2 carriers. We were talking about something wild where if carrier has to go for the climber infect and then it dies to Hellforged, then Sneak could have moved up, killed climber, and you could have moved a bandit down to Brutal Force Sneaks over and go for a 1-for-1.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Orange Lazarus with the gate play, it really locked the game.
It was smart putting the gate on F1 instead of E1 too, because I initially thought you were going to put it here to protect better, but that would have locked out your Raise the Dead once Sacrificial Pyre cleared.
Right.
Yeah.
Sacrificial Pyre.
But
So
again,
that was a
here
good play.
I didn't know if he had Fury, which is why I kind of stacked it like I did. But turns out I was overthinking it.
We were also talking about how it's going to be harder and harder because one thing you did really effectively was look at every option the Cave Goblins had and made sure all of those options were clear. So you could leave stuff that looked like weaknesses like this hole right here, while knowing that there was no way that Cave Goblins should actually exploit that. Although you just put a dude there anyways for the next turn.
Yeah. Although to Waterdee's point, I guess technically I could have just left him here and still handled that climber, but oh well. Yeah. In a 45-minute game, it's hard like not to make any mistakes. So
yeah.
Sure.
Yep. You didn't pay for it. That's what matters.
Prophet,
This is the one.
Yeah, this is the one. I'm not sure why you did this attack before the carrier to the beast.
Yeah.
You were saying?
Sorry. Yeah, I totally understand like do I just like throw away like Sneaks and just get him one shot? But I think that the turn you're like really solid in rage turn, right? Sneaking in for the bandit really gave you the option to throw like 2 attacks from the slinger onto Rhett when you got the climber in there too. I totally understand not wanting to like get Sneaks blown up, but I feel like, do you feel like you should have at some point brought Sneaks in a little bit before you ended up doing it?
Yeah, I mean, I was debating almost every turn whether or not I should just get sneaks in the battle.
Yeah, so were we as the commentators.
Yeah, I was like,
Definitely.
okay, is it time now? But I don't know. I was worried because I was like, I need to get him in a turn there that even if because I don't think it's pretty difficult for you to do 11 damage. I mean, it'd have to be the right combination of cards. So I wanted him in a place where I could pretty much make it meaningful, because I don't think even if I got sneaks involved, I would win the econ battle here. I mean, I'm running a full 0 cost deck. He has carriers. Like it's a tempo battle, and I figured I need to send sneaks in to threaten his summoner in a meaningful way. So I want to avoid taking any more than like 1 or 2 damage, because if I'm at like 8 right now, I'm pretty confident with like 1 blood summon he could OTK me.
That's fair. Yeah, Watered knows it well, because in this week's matchup in the league, he turn 2A just destroyed my sneaks with a blood summon warrior combo.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's I play Fallen Kingdom probably the most. It's my favorite deck, and so I know the capabilities they have. And even if he doesn't kill me, putting me at like 2 or 3 health is pretty much putting sneaks out of the game. So I felt like I wanted to pick my own battle here when I put him in. And I thought that sneaking him into the castle was probably the most meaningful use of him. I think where I was really struggling was I didn't know if attacking the carrier or trying to get rid of that corner gate was the best move. Maybe I could have snuck in Blarf. I was thinking about that too, because I had Blarf with 1 attack. But I don't know. I was thinking, okay, end game, I have nothing but Blarf, so I need to protect him at all costs. And there were a couple of turns where I just took damage because there was no way I could trade. I think he had a warriors at 7 boost. I was like, nope, I'd rather take 1 damage.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Honestly, it felt like it was just a very frustrating matchup for Cave Goblins too. I think Cave Goblins against a properly played Fallen Kingdom is just uphill for Cave Goblins. Very, very hard.
Yeah, I was talking to CPU about this. I was like, yeah, I feel like this matchup is just going to be a very hard battle for Goblins, especially the way I run the deck, and just having carriers is a huge threat to me. But I mean, even then, it's just like I am everything what Fallen Kingdom wants: easy to kill units, carrier food, just risky sneaks. But I felt like, given the cards, I did all right. I didn't feel like at one point I was just gonna get completely rolled. I honestly thought I was gonna get completely rolled, because I was like, this is probably my worst matchup. I think with the Goblins.
So my question, Prophet, is you built a competent deck here and it was very good. But if you were to implement changes in the deck that would improve your matchup against Fallen Kingdom in the future, what would they be?
Ooh, that's hard to say. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think. I mean, if I look at just the events, I might remove 1 copy of Brutal Force, maybe 2. I don't think Fallen Kingdom have any trouble really repositioning their units mid-battle. With carriers, archers, they can really prevent me from like getting into the position I need. As for what I would replace it with, I don't know if Pile On would have saved me here. I didn't feel like I was really lacking that much damage. I don't know. Maybe I would have run a 1 Fury. I think the Fury would be a tough choice, because that would mean I would have to get sneaks involved earlier, and I feel like I'm pretty risk adverse nature. I feel like those 2 would be the substitutions I would consider, though. Primal Fury and a Pile On in place of Brutal Force. As for the summons, I probably would. I'd probably take out 1 or 2 bandits and put in maybe some riders. I definitely feel like in this matchup I had a lot of magic, and I could probably use that on riders, though my first rider is pretty disappointing, so maybe I'm not thinking about this correctly.
Or you could bring the Eater back in. I mean, he's just waiting in the sideline.
Yeah, the eater is also a good choice. I don't think I would replace Dagger though. I think Dagger is just
Yeah,
amazing.
Dagger's awesome.
Blarf, I love Blarf. I think he's pretty underrated, to be honest. I mean, just the fact that you have all this magic, it just takes a couple of turns for him to just be a monster. So probably Smeg. I'd probably take out Smeg and put in the eater. Smeg is okay. I think she does what she does, but after like 2 or 3 turns, she's just really a burden on my magic. I guess in this deck it's not really an issue, but the eater is just I can get toyed around with so much. I've had like 1 good game with the eater, but other than that, I've never really done well with him.
I think we also want to like, I would want to see the matchup again. I mean, I think you got pretty much like the worst CG. Oh, like you got 3 events and the only champ you can't summon turn 1, right? That's pretty bad noise. But
yeah, you literally drew what might be one of only 2 or 3 possible hands with the deck you built that you can't summon anything.
Yeah,
agreed.
I had my buddy in the chat, and I think he left early. And he was telling me.
Yeah, he said to make fun of you.
Nice. He was like, yeah, he was watching it. He was like rooting for me, and he's just like laughing at all of the times I whiffed. And I was just like, dude, I'm having a rough time right now, man. Okay.
That's so sad. He should be supporting you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like sort of the jab at you, supporting you. He was like, oh well, you got this, but LOL, dude, that beast rider. I was like, okay, yeah, I know.
I get it. Yeah, I totally
Different form
agree
of
with you
friendship.
being risk averse. I do think like this is why I'm the same way. I'm very risk averse. I try to not, put my summoner in too much danger, and that's why I usually don't like playing cave goblins that much. If I were to do this deck building thing, then I wouldn't be using sneaks for it. So why did you choose sneaks, being as risk averse as you are?
I think when I looked at all of the decks, I mean, I saw some cool options with like Phoenix Elves and maybe Vanguard with some of Phoenix Elves cards. But Phoenix Elves was like my other custom deck I had a lot of fun with. But Cave Goblins just they had a lot of options to them. They were one of the most fleshed out custom deck building, especially when Cloaks just Cloaks released. Yeah, I'm only risk adverse when it comes to specific matchups. I know Falling Kingdom is very explosive, and I think I played Tundra Orcs from CPU's deck, and I think that was also very explosive as well. So
yeah,
I feel like most of the deck building options right now either lean to just economy grind or OTKs. And when I come to OTK matchups, I usually am very considerate of where I play sneaks. I think in the second round against CPU, I basically got blown up in 1 turn, and it was like, I think Primal Fury, Brutal Force with Grognak hit me into like Sunday, and then Targan from across the room just shot me to death, and I was like, wow, that's 11 health in 1 turn. That's amazing. So I'm okay taking risks, but like against specific matchups, I have to really think carefully, because it just feels bad when you die so early to an OTK combo and you don't really get to see out all of the options in your deck. So I feel like only in specific matchups I'm risk adverse. Normally I'm more calculated risk. And I think Cave Goblins are pretty easy, because in this deck, you don't really have to, besides this game, you don't really have to manage your hand too bad. You just play everything, you try to use all your events. And that's pretty simple. Other decks I have to consider, okay, this is a cool synergy, or this is a cool card, but how many times is it a dead draw, and on all of that nonsense. I had fun with this deck, and honestly, it's still my favorite deck building deck. So yeah,
I've played with Prophet, and we've played like a bunch of different deck building matchups. I think this list specifically really does have the ability to just go over. Like, it's an OTK deck that can go over pretty much whatever you're trying to do. It's really solid.
Yeah, and I think switching out the Charger for the Climber, because I remember you were discussing your deck earlier, I think that was such an important play, because the Climbers were so crucial to this deck.
Yeah,
The Climbers are extremely strong here.
Yeah, I love the Climbers. I honestly, I don't know if I would change anything to this deck. I feel like it still has a pretty good shot. Even in its worst matchup, I feel like I can get reasonably close.
You did.
One thing I love doing is I love brutal forcing my own units into threat range. So then you have to consider a climber, a sneak, a clinger, and then a brutal force. So that threat range is actually pretty huge. And if Rhett didn't wall up with units, I would have been able to get pretty sneaky with it. But you know,
Yeah.
it is what it
I
is.
think both decks were designed perfectly, and I wouldn't make any changes to either of them until the fungal dwarfs come out.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
interesting. It's interesting to hear you say that because I actually I think your deck's really good. I like it with at least 1 or 2 Beast Riders in there, just because I think the bandits, like they're good, but they don't have as much reach. And sometimes just having a Beast Rider that can just charge up, pull a clinger with it, get up on top of a gate and do some damages, especially when you have all that excess magic during
That's a fair point.
you know what I mean? I get it. It's not that like it's, and I could see in different matchups it's being a wash because you don't have pylon anymore. But I usually like to take at least a couple Beast Riders.
And who would you take out? The bandits?
I like 1 or 2 bandits. I mean, I like to keep clingers in, maybe a clinger, but maybe just a couple bandits and leave and then put a couple Beast Riders in.
Or maybe 1 climber and 1 bandit out for 2 Beast Riders.
Yeah, sure.
It's so good to have the full 0 suite for Enrage the Horde, though, right? Like that feels so good
Yeah.
to pretty much your entire deck be activated through Enrage the Horde.
But it's tough to use all of those. I mean, like he had a couple good turns, but even then, like how many units can you get up against?
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I definitely see your point. I think, yeah, the bandits, they're better than the charger, but I guess I'm kind of a purist here, trying to keep a full set of 4 commons.
We did see, if you look at the game log, every single common unit, every single champion, and with the exception of 1 brutal force, every single event was played.
And every gate.
Yep.
And every game.
The whole deck was played.
That's quite literally the
2
goal
cards
here.
that got returned via Unrelenting both got played.
Yeah.
Including the Beast Rider, who was the least valuable player.
Yeah, that's sort of the strategy here. I don't discard anything. I play everything and just kind of hope for the best. But I think to Orange's point, I probably do need a little bit more muscle in this deck. I feel like I like the 0 cost just because it gives me very, very great flexibility with dagger and sneaks. But having that charge does really threaten a lot more spaces than just having a bandit. And the bandits, although they were nice to teleport to, I only like maybe 1 or 2 turns really used their pylon effectively. Other than that, they just felt like a 1 damage unit when I couldn't surround them. So it's a good point.
Fair point. I definitely would take out the bandits before I took out the other 3.
Yeah, I definitely think bandit over climber. Climbers are very critical here.
And you don't take out the slingers ever.
No.
I'm surprised they're not in the top 10 common units on the website. I have them at like 3rd.
Oh, the
Just
slingers
because
are 3rd?
I have
You
the
put
slingers
what
at
third?
3rd because there is 0 cost with Relentless. That's just so powerful.
Yeah, I definitely made sure, like whenever I could, I was trying to kill slingers. That's. I mean, a lot of people have that strategy, but always looking how to kill them because as soon as you start piling up those attacks and enrage, it's just that's so much power in that deck.
Yeah, and you absolutely played that appropriately. Every time I saw you going out of your way to target the slingers, I was like, yep, that's what you do. He knows. He's an expert in this matchup, clearly. I mean, besides the fact that you're Orange Lazarus, it was just like, it was very much making a beeline for the unit that attacks for free. And I really do think Relentless is more powerful than PHG realized.
Yeah, Relentless is those slingers are pretty much why Brutal Force is even worth it in this deck. Even if I can just get off 1 additional contact point by just pushing them into a lane where the slingers is, that's an additional 2 dice, which I feel like is equivalent to what pylon you would expect with pylon with 2 units surrounding an enemy. It's just 2 additional dice, right? So
Yeah,
and that's just with one hit, right? Like imagine just all the lanes covered it. I think Brutal Force
that's
is
true. Maybe
pretty-
Brutal Force is better here than Pylon. I think you're right. I mean, with or without the bandits.
yeah. The slingers just offer just so much to the deck.
Yeah, it's funny because Brutal Force doesn't do that much for Grog most of the time. But I think that's a different deck. It does a lot more for sneaks.
Oh yeah.
Brutal Force is huge for TO. It's like one of like the best. It's so good.
I think Brutal Force is a pretty underrated card in period. I think with TO, it requires a bit more setup. So you have to either, you can use it with Grognak, but Grognak is restrained by the 3 attacks. So you don't really feel like you're getting additional dice. Really, you feel like you're getting maybe more contact points on the same unit. But
Yeah.
when you combine something like Brutal Force with Enrage the Horde and Slingers, it becomes just so incredible. And I wish I drew Brutal Force earlier on in the deck so I could kind of show that, but it is what it is. Yeah, I feel like it's great with the goblins. They have so many ways to get reach, contact points, additional attacks, and then Enrage is just amazing.
Hey, well, Prophet, hey, I got to go in just a minute, but I'm curious on your take because this is the second time I've gotten to play kind of like the 45-minute format. How did you find that? Was it challenging? Did it add a layer of stress, or was it not that big a deal for you?
I mean, it was fine. I don't think it was incredibly stressful because I feel like most of the moves were. I think there was only like a couple of turns where I was like, okay, I need a minute to think, and I think that was like the gate turn, and then probably towards the end on how I was, not gonna die. But other than that, I didn't really feel like I was pressured by time. I liked it. I like live matches, and hopefully this continues on with future tournaments. This is fun.
Yeah, it's because in my perspective, the first game I played against Eldritch Noodles was much harder for me. Now I guess I was breakers in that game, so sometimes there's some more kind of Win Archer kind of shenanigans you can pull that takes a little more thinking. But this one, I felt for me, I don't know if it's because I played it the second time or if it was a different faction, but it was a little less stressful and a little easier for me to get in a flow. So I wasn't sure if you were having that same experience, but it sounds like it wasn't too big a deal for you.
Yeah, I feel like in this matchup we both knew what to do. I there wasn't really many options per se. I just have to go for you as fast as I can, and you just have to stop that with your carriers and everything else. I feel like if you play something like, I don't know, Polar Doors and Breakers, where the options are just kind of everywhere, that probably would have been more stressful. But again, it's part of why I like goblins. Their strategy is pretty straightforward. Their hand management is pretty straightforward. You don't really have many things to think through besides just do damage. Oh god, I have to see this again. That was just painful.
I was like, I'm not doing anything else with the screen. Might as well put it on the replay again.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys,
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta run. I'm the
Yeah.
old guy in the room with like 3 kids that are coming home, so I gotta.
No problem.
It was fun.
I'll probably
It
head
was
out too.
fun playing you,
Awesome.
Prophet. Well
Yeah,
done.
likewise.
Good job.
Well played to both of you. And thanks for joining.
Yeah, very well played to both of you. It was very entertaining to watch.
That's good to hear. Well,
One last question for Prophet. When you played the Brutal Force at the end against Abel, that was intended to be a backhand slap, right?
yeah, that was a big middle finger to Elut Ball, just to show you I can play my whole deck, and I will.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Have a good day.
Thanks for the match, guys. Thanks for the commentary. Had a lot of fun, and hope to see you guys around.
Yeah.
Cool.
God bless. See ya.
See ya.
I'm out of here too, I think.
Yep. Thanks
Yeah,
so
I'm
much,
just gonna let
Shibata.
the-
That was great.
No problem.
Bye, y'all.
See you.
Another good tournament. Fun
Thanks.
stuff.
I'm going to let the replay play out here, and then I'm going to end the recording. So
Sounds
if you're
good.
tuning in on YouTube, I'll do the standard advertisement spiel. Not to like and subscribe, I don't care about that. But we have a Summoner Wars Discord, which we would love for you guys to join, because I really, really like this game, and I think it's I think it makes I think it makes people happier by playing it more than other games do. So if you like what you see, there's a Discord you can join. It's free online. You get a couple factions free. I think it's Cloaks and Avians right now. So some of the high tier ones too.
I don't know. Those are phenomenal beginner factions, but they're super fun.
True. I think Avians are good beginner factions.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the two that you'd be playing would be the Cloaks, who can do pretty much anything, and the faction of birds that just fly around everywhere. And so they're nice because if you make a mistake, you can just fly out.
That's super true. Well, I'm gonna head out. It was great. Thanks for the
CPF.
Summoner Wars Discord plug. If you check it out, check out the league. We love having new members on the league.
SW-zone.com.
Yeah, check it out. All right, see you.
See ya. Just me. We'll let the game play out. Just so you have a version of it that you can clip without my annotations on it. Thanks for watching.
Hello?
Hello, I'm just playing the replay through, so it has a version on the recording.
Oh, did I ruin it?
You're all good. You're all good. This will be the Easter egg.
Oh, I realized I left a little abruptly. I'm like, should I not have been like, ah, but they'll be closed now. And then suddenly you're not, and poof, here I am. So
You're chilling.
I'm loitering.
No, we just took like time to give a shout out to the Discord and the website. So if there's anything you want to do the YouTuber spiel for, now's your chance.
Oh, shout outs. I'm a published author, so shout out to my book series, The Flames Chronicles. Check it out on Amazon.
Cool.
All right. I don't know if anybody is going to check that shout out, but
If
all
they
right.
made it through like 2 hours of a Summoner Wars video, anything's possible.
That's true. See you around.
See you.